You ready to go at this holiday list?
Do it.
All right, let me start it off the right way.
Also, make sure you know what was Eyes Wide Shut
An
a
honorable
special.
mention.
Dude, it shouldn't be. It really is just like a Christmas movie through and through. Every single scene has Christmas lights in it
Yeah,
and Christmas decorations.
we'll make that a part of the actual list.
All right,
We will
cool.
make that
It's
just an
like it's
honorable mention.
probably the darkest Christmas movie outside of like a Christmas horror movie.
Yeah, I would say you're right. Boom, 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 boom. Let's do this. Oh, just so everybody knows, we're doing a holiday movies list right now, and we're gonna just be talking about all of the holiday movies that I guess we grew up on and that we just recommend personally. Pretty much all of these are like everybody knows, so we're not really breaking new ground here.
If
But
we missed your favorite, comment below. Let us know what it is. We'll do a follow-up list of things we missed.
oh, 100%. I would love to do a second Christmas list. That sounds funny, but yeah. Let's do it. I will say though, this first one, it kind of ropes in a lot of them. The first one is gonna be the Rankin Bass movie Christmas TV specials, like whatever you want to call them. All those movies from like the 50s and 60s and maybe 70s that were all like claymation, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Baby New Year, all those random ones that you can remember. The Year Without a Santa Claus, that's another one, right? That I think that was actually my favorite one, was The Year Without a Santa. I remember that one was really good. The one that I wrote down because I thought it was the most famous one and the one that everybody I think knows at this point, no pun intended, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know, I think that's like the definitive of all those ones, right? Wouldn't you say? Like that's the one that everybody knows and everybody like
I mean, it's
references
tied.
and
I'd say
stuff.
it's tied with Frosty the Snowman
I think
for
Frosty
number
the
one
Snow.
Christmas movie.
Well, no, I mean like among all those like claymation movies and stuff. I would say yeah, Frosty is like kind of up there, but
Actually, is
like
there even a claymation Frosty?
but that's what I was gonna say is I wasn't even sure if there might
No.
be like a start, but like out of all those claymation ones, I think Rudolph was like the biggest
Yeah, I
one.
thought you meant just it's number one out of all.
No, and honestly, I forgot to put Frosty in this list, but I think
What?
we should. Yeah, I did. Well, we went over this list already, you and I. But
I know. I just
I
thought that didn't need to be mentioned to get added to the list.
Well, I guess that should be an honorable mention, and I'll just say that right now is Frosty the Snowman or whatever. That he's definitely an honorable mention to the list
For
of
sure.
our movies. Yeah, classic. Here's some trivia facts about Rudolph. We all know the story of Rudolph. He's I don't even think I have to go through it, but you know he's the reindeer that gets no love. Nobody wants to play any reindeer games with him. You know, everybody's just like Donner and Blitzen are the cooler ones, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna sit behind the bleachers and smoke
He's a
cigarettes
genetic
with my.
anomaly,
He's a
and
genetic
yeah,
anomaly.
I know he's a freak.
He's a freak, but you know what? He's cool. He smokes cigarettes. He
Rudolph
drinks beers. He's got a
Rudolph
varsity
the
jacket.
Red-Nosed Reindeer is one of the first punks.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, dude. He did not give a shit, dude. He just went off and did his own thing. Him and Hermie too. Hermie was a punk.
What is Hermie?
Hermie was the elf, the dude that wanted to be a dentist. He didn't want to be
Is
like an
that his
elf.
name?
Hermie, yeah, Hermie the elf.
Okay.
And then they had
The
that
Island of
claim.
Misfit Toys. That's
Yes,
pretty punk.
that was super punk. Like they, dude, the Misfits is the name of a punk band.
I know.
Dude, I bet you the Misfit Toys would make a great punk band name. We should do that if that's not already a thing.
Somebody should make a new modern day version of some of these old movies and go crazy. Make the Island of Misfit Toys have a punk band.
Make the that would be it's Trauma Christmas. It's all like modern Trauma Christmas.
Yeah, get James Gunn to make it.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, that would be the coolest thing ever if James Gunn took over for Trauma, like when Lloyd Kaufman like decides to retire.
Remember
Finally.
he made the Guardians Christmas special? Also, is that on the list?
That is not on the list. That's a good call. So I'm slacking on these Christmas ones, but
Dude, we're gonna miss so many. Dude, you know what
we
I didn't
are.
mention? Classic. This is up there in my top 10 Christmas movies.
What is it?
Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Yes, dude, that one is fantastic. Grandma got run over by a reindeer is definitely an honorable mention, and we got to mention that.
An
It's a great one.
honorable mention?
Dude, that's a fantastic one. What? Let's maybe do a second Christmas list again with a lot of these that we're missing. But I again, or we could save this for next year and just do a part two next year and just have
Just
like
mention right now, also up here on this list with all
is
the greats. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
coming home from our house Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa.
Grandma's gonna that isn't that how that went? They went to
Yeah.
trial in the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Cousin
great. That was
Mel
good.
is a greedy bitch.
Cousin Mel's a guy. She's the only character that comes to my mind when I think of that movie. Hilariously enough, is her and the grandma. I think of both there because I remember her with like a scowl and the grandma being just so like happy go lucky. Oh, and the grandpa too. I can remember the grandpa.
And he was a lovable oaf.
He was an all right guy. A few facts about Rudolph. Again, we all know punk motherfucker Rudolph. He's awesome. In the feature film Elf, the North Pole depicted in the elf costumes for Buddy, played by Will Ferrell, and the other. This is, I guess, an elf fact too. And other elves were modeled after the clothes the elves wear in this production. Furthermore, the character of Leon the Snowman bears a strong resemblance of Burl Ives' Sam Snowman, despite being a caricature of Leon Redbone.
That's what it is. Sam Snow. All right, there is a snowman in those original movies.
Yeah,
It's just not
yeah.
Frosty the Snowman.
No, he's the Abominable Snowman, which, that's a little
Sam
foreshadowing to another
Snowman
episode.
isn't the Abominable Snowman.
He's not? What is? Oh, no, he's the dude with the cane and shit. Or not the cane, the umbrella.
He's just Sam the Snowman.
Yeah, he's got
I
the
thought he was
umbrella.
Frosty the Snowman.
No, he's he's different. He's basically like,
He's like the same kind of snowman. He's not a Yeti.
yeah, exactly. Well, no, yeah, he's not a Yeti. He's a snowman.
The
He's
Abominable
like a,
Snowman is a Yeti.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. In the original TV version of the show, Rudolph, Hermie, the elf, and Yukon Cornelius visit the island of misfit toys and promise to help them. But the misfits are never seen again, only mentioned as Santa's first stop before he flies off in his sleigh. After it was shown, the producers were inundated with letters from children complaining that nothing had been done to help the misfit toys. In response, Rankin Bass produced a new short scene at the end of the show in which Santa and his reindeer, led by Rudolph, land on the island and pick up all the toys to find homes for them. This scene became part of the standard version of the show run during the holidays. I remember that scene, so that makes sense. Copies of both the Santa and Rudolph publicity photo puppets were found in storage in the attic of a woman that used to work for Rankin Bass. The puppets were in rather poor condition. Santa was missing his eyebrows and half his mustache, and his legs were broken. Rudolph's iconic nose was missing and replaced with red wax, but amazingly survived being stored in the hot attic since the late 1960s. They have since been restored by Screen Novelties to their former glory and now travel the country to various trade shows and conventions.
Shout out to the Heat Miser, the Cold Miser.
Yep. Shout out to them. Shout out to Baby New Year. Shout out to
Hermie.
To Hermie, yeah. He wants to be
Snowman.
a dentist. Yep. Again, foreshadowing to a future episode of this show.
Young Santa.
Yeah, dude, Young Santa was the fucking man.
Nicholas.
Yes, dude. That one, it might be my favorite. That one right there.
Yeah.
That one was amazing. Like, put one foot in front of the other. Like, that was so fucking good. That shit was great. Yeah. 100%. 100%. We could probably do an entire episode.
That's a superhero movie.
It's a superhero origin movie. It definitely is.
Exactly.
He gives them magic beans, right? And that's what makes the reindeer fly, right? Wasn't that what it was?
I don't remember that part.
I forgot. Maybe it wasn't that, but I remember that the reindeer fly and like bust them out of prison or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. Right? Isn't that what happens? They bust them out of prison?
So
Yeah.
what's next on the list?
This movie is actually one of my favorite movies, I think, of any holiday movie of all time. And we always have to have an Adam Sandler movie on our list of movies, I think.
Crazy that this is your second movie on the list.
I love this movie so much.
Right after classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
It's crazy, but I this was the first movie I thought of when I was putting together this list, honestly. And for those that haven't figured it out, I mean, we all know what this is. It's Eight Crazy Nights. I fucking love this movie. This movie makes me feel like the holiday.
Yeah, totally.
It's one of those like movies that like anytime it's on, it's just like a warm and fuzzy feeling, and it's like you kind of feel all of the spectrum of emotions of a holiday movie. You know what I mean? Like sadness, like love, warmth, everything. It's all there in this movie, and I love this movie so much. For anybody that hasn't seen Eight Crazy Nights, I mean, maybe there's somebody out there who hasn't watched it. It's an animated Adam Sandler movie where he's basically this like washed up asshole that was really good at basketball when he was like a youth. And now he's like getting in trouble with the law and shit. And
it gets pretty depressing. Parts.
It does. It gets super depressing. Like his parents like passed away during like a game that was supposed to happen, and it was a lot of like crazy shit that happens. But he ends up kind of learning like the Christmas cheer, so to speak, by I guess falling in love with the single mom, right? That's kind of the gist of what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful story. It's an amazing movie, and I highly recommend everyone to watch it.
Yeah, this is my second favorite Adam Sandler movie.
I would say this is my third favorite, probably third favorite. I love this movie a lot. Director Seth Kearsley said all of the product placements were used without permission from their respective companies. That's funny.
Hey, get permission later.
You get permission later. According to Doug Walker, Seth Kearsley sent him an email following Walker's review of the film. And it's funny because that's a huge part of the movie too, is the product placement ads talking to Davey or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Revealing that Kearsley wanted scenes cut from this film, but they tested well with the audience and were not cut as a result. Specifically, and I thought this was funny because I hated this. This is the only part of the movie that I don't like in the entire movie, which is hilarious to me. No. This is about the next trivia fact. I kind of randomly dropped that in random before, but this is a scene that they apparently it tested well with audiences, but the like the director wanted to cut it or whatever, but it tested well with audiences. But it's funny because it's literally the only scene I don't like. It's involving the deer and feces, and he noted that I hate
it was
that
probably
scene.
Like just really.
It was so vulgar for no reason. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they were just like. Remember how early adult animation that was like really high quality animation too? Like it got really fucking raunchy. They're like, no, it's for adults, so we can go crazy. But it's like you wouldn't even put that in a live action movie. But you think because it's cartoon, it's like not going to be gross.
Well, exactly. And honestly, like the scene earlier with the deer and the outhouse or whatever, the what the fuck do you call that? The thing that construction workers take a shit in.
Porta potty.
Oh, porta potty. Yeah. The scene earlier in the movie with the porta potty, I didn't even hate that as much as I hated the scene later on. Even though the deers like lick the shit off of like Davy earlier in the movie in that part. But like at the same time, I was like, that kind of makes sense. But then the scene
until That's My Boy, this might have been the raunchiest Adam Sandler movie.
You think so?
What goes crazier?
I would maybe say Little Nicky, but I don't know.
Nicky's
maybe
not even that raunchy.
Yeah, it's not that raunchy. That's true. This is definitely raunchier.
Raunchy.
Yeah,
but That's My Boy it tops the cake.
Oh yeah, I don't know if there's Ridiculous Six I think may have stolen the raunchiness from That's My Boy. Well,
I've never watched that. I'll be honest.
I don't think you should. I think it's terrible. But I think where Ridiculous Six goes for shock value, That's My Boy goes for more like, I don't know, I guess exploitation purposes, I guess would be the difference. There's not a lot of difference there in shock value and exploitation, but I think shock value is more just like, let's see how many gross, weird things that we can throw at the board. Whereas like exploitation, like you kind of show how fucked up something is by joking about it instead of just like showing like, piss and shit all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm conflating or missing one of the meaning of these things. But yeah,
the
yep.
reindeer scene could have been a cool deleted scene. Didn't need to be in the
Yes.
movie, but I also don't care that it's in the movie because the whole movie is pretty raunchy.
Yes, I agree. But I think that was a part that especially kind of takes you out of the moment in the movie. But I agree with you. I think that was a good middle ground. Many animation fans, I didn't realize I had actually quite a few trivias for this. Many animation fans have noted the design style of the characters in Eight Crazy Nights is similar to the design style of the characters in The Iron Giant.
Yes, absolutely. It's
yes.
amazing. The movie looks great.
Here's why. The majority of the animators that worked on this film were laid off from Warner Brothers Animation, which produced Iron Giant and Fox Animation Studios. Crazy. And it's funny because the mom looks a lot like the mom, like the single mom in Eight Crazy Nights looks like, I think, from memory, exactly like the mom of Hogarth.
Kid looks like the kid too, right?
Yeah, he does. He looks, you're right. I didn't even think about that. The kid looks just like the kid in that too. A great movie. Davy is based on the picture of Adam Sandler when he was 19. I think we could have figured that out. Davy's parents are voiced by Adam Sandler's parents. I think that was an interesting one. Stan Sandler and Jude Sandler. This is Stan's only film appearance, and he passed away in 2003, and his memory was dedicated in another Adam Sandler movie, 50 First Dates. Originally, Sony did not want to participate in the animation game with the expense and risks involved, but Columbia Pictures chief Amy Pascal, good old Amy Pascal, if anybody doesn't know about her, look it up. She's pretty interesting. Yeah, she's very familiar. If anybody wants to we might even do like a whole episode about like shit to do with her. It's pretty crazy. But she greenlit this movie anyway on a personal pitch from Adam Sandler, and this led to the creation of Sony Pictures Animation, which that's good on her. This next movie, I think you kind of got mad at me for not putting this more in the Halloween list, and that was actually because I thought of this more as a Christmas movie, and honestly, I was thinking about it today. I don't even know if I can even figure out whether this is more Christmas or Halloween. It's obviously The Nightmare Before Christmas. What do you think? I think we had a discussion before about like whether this is considered more Christmas or Halloween. I think we came to the conclusion it is more Christmas.
Yeah, so I'm sorry if I said something different before, but I think it's about 50-50 Halloween and Christmas.
I think it is too. I think you're right. I think because I was literally thinking about this right before we were recording, and I had a hard time even thinking like, is this really a Christmas movie or is this a Halloween movie? And in my head, I was just like, I can't figure it out, so I'm just gonna keep it on this list since we took it off the last one, or just had it as an honorable mention for the last one. But Tim Burton has said the original poem was inspired after seeing the Halloween merchandise display in a store being taken down and replaced by a Christmas display. I also should say, I think this is the one movie that all of our listeners will know the story of. It's basically like, wouldn't you say that? I was thinking about this today too, it's kind of like the Grinch.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a reverse Grinch situation.
It's like the Grinch, but he doesn't want to be the Grinch.
No, he doesn't. He loves Christmas, but he doesn't have the same motives as the Grinch, but he ends up doing the exact same thing pretty much.
It's like the Grinch embraces Christmas and realizes he can be like a beacon of Christmas, whereas Jack realizes that he's just not Santa, and that's just not what he's about. And he's got to do what he does well. He's got to stop, or else he's going to ruin Christmas.
This would be like if the Grinch liked Christmas way too much.
Yeah, that should be the Grinch. Wait, did they do a Grinch too?
I don't know. I forgot.
I think I put the Grinch
on this list.
That might be the plot of Grinch 2 if they ever did that.
The Grinch re-steals Christmas.
No, just the Grinch. He likes Christmas too much, and he's kind of like ruining it for everyone else by like shoving it in people's faces or just doing things the wrong way.
It's Halloween. He's just like, no, I want Christmas.
He gets grumpy at people when it's not Christmas time.
Yeah, that'd be
Right?
hilarious.
He's just like an asshole all year.
Yo, Disney, take this idea, run with it. I'm not even sure. I think Disney's the one who owns Grinch, but yeah, definitely do that because that's an amazing idea. But yeah, Psychotic Grinch 2 as Loving Christmas sounds awesome. Back to Nightmare Before Christmas, the juxtaposition of ghouls and goblins with Santa and his reindeer sparked his imagination. I got a lot of trivias for these first few ones, so bear with me. I feel like this is a good one to have trivia for, because I feel like we missed out last time. In 2001, Walt Disney Pictures began to consider producing a sequel, but rather than using stop motion, Disney wanted to use computer animation. Tim Burton convinced Disney to drop the idea. I was always very protective of Nightmare, not to do sequels or things of that kind, Burton explained. You know, Jack visits Thanksgiving World or other kinds of things, but because I felt the movie had a purity to it, and that the people that like it had a purity to it, and the people that like it. I feel like there was more to that, but I don't know. At around 13,
Tim Burton feels about the Nightmare Before Christmas being in Kingdom Hearts. How do you think he feels about that?
I don't know. I bet you he hates that.
It's really wonderful.
It is,
and I hope he sees that.
It feels like he has like an Alan Moore protection over Jack Skellington, but I feel like he has it lesser. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's not that far.
Yeah, definitely. At around 13 minutes, it is stated in the making of book that it is stated in the making of book. How is it 13 minutes in the making of book? That doesn't make sense. That the most difficult shot to film in the entire movie is the shot in which Jack is reaching for the doorknob to Christmas Land. Viewers can see the perfect surround reflection of the forest around Jack in the background.
Interesting.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole movie is so beautiful.
It is. Danny Elfman found writing Nightmare's 10 songs as one of the easiest jobs I've ever had. I had a lot in common with Jack Skellington. Having created demos of all the songs for the director's approval, Elfman had gotten really attached to Jack since he could relate to being loved and famous. You know, Oingo Boingo Band. But like Jack, he was no longer happy with his situation. Elfman mustered up all his courage to ask his friend and producer Tim Burton if he could voice Jack, but before he could finish, Burton simply told him, "Danny, don't worry about it. You got the part." That's cool.
Wait, Danny Elfman does voice Jack?
I think there's something about this. I think that he voices just the singing, so this gets into it. It took a group of around 100 people 3 years to complete this movie. For 1 second of film, up to 12 stop-motion moves had to be made. Wild, but makes sense. While Danny Elfman was chosen to voice Jack Skellington, it was felt that his singing was great, but his speaking voice was too wooden and stiff. Chris Sarandon was then cast as Jack's speaking voice because he closely matched Elfman's singing voice.
Any relation to Susan?
I don't know. Let me click that real quick and see. Chris Sarandon. The handsome, weird, and worldly-looking Chris Sarandon, that's what it says on his IMDb, has shown his versatility in everything from vampires to Jesus Christ and hypnotic performances that are controversial but irresistible. But he was born Christopher Sarandon Jr. and raised in Beckley, West Virginia, of Greek heritage. I don't think he is.
Yeah, must not be.
No, he's not. No. Just same name. Old Chris Sarandon. Good old Chris Sarandon. Zero's nose is actually a tiny glowing jack-o'-lantern. I didn't know that. Despite pushback from Disney, Tim Burton and Henry Selick fought against animating Jack Skellington with eyes. According to a 2018 Mouse Planet report, Burton said, "The first rule of drawn animation is that you have to have eyes for expression. I thought it would be great to give life to these characters that have no eyes," he added. "Disney really fought for us to give Jack these friendly eyes instead of dark holes, but we wouldn't budge." And Patrick Stewart did the original introduction, which can be heard on the film's soundtrack. That's funny. According to Henry Selick, Vincent Price was initially cast as Santa Claus and recorded all of his dialogue. However, after the death of Price's wife, Coral Brown, his own health began to fail and his voice performance was very frail and weak. The tracks were, I hate to say it, and this sounds fucked up, but that I feel like that would work for Santa Claus. Moving on. The tracks The tracks were deemed unusable, which led much to Selleck's regret to the role being recast. The film premiered at a film festival on October 9th.
Let me go with you on that. It
Yep.
would work because I'd like to think Santa sounds like Dumbledore.
That's what I mean.
Just like really old and tired.
Yes.
Also, like imagine he's an old man who's fat, who's doing all this in one night. Like I would love to just see him depicted as constantly being tired and working really hard.
Just always winded. Just like, okay, all right, yeah.
But it's not because he's unhealthy. It's because he's just like working his ass off.
Yeah, he's doing so much shit. Yeah, I agree. The film premiered at a film festival on October 9th, only 16 days before Price's death, and was released on a limited basis 4 days later. The film's first United States wide release was October 29th, 4 days after Price passed away. So this honestly might be like my favorite live action Christmas movie. I think I've talked about this movie a lot here. If not, I talk about this movie a lot in my personal life, just in general, because like I said, this is one of my favorite Christmas holiday movies like of all time. It's really good. If nobody's watched it, I highly recommend you watch it. If you want just a really funny, great movie. I'm pretty sure you've seen this movie. This is called Just Friends. It's with Ryan Reynolds. I think Amy Smart is the love interest. It's got Chris Klein as the like the crazy Dusty Dinkelman or whatever his name is, the dude that like tries to go after Ryan Reynolds' girl. Anna Faris as this really crazy pop star that's obsessed with Ryan Reynolds, who is this like agent in Hollywood. It's a great movie. He goes back to his roots in like was it Wisconsin? I think it is. Yeah, I think it's Wisconsin or Wyoming. And he basically he stops there and he or maybe Chicago. I forgot. It's one of those places. But he basically stops there and he stays with his family because his private jet is like is marooned there because of a blizzard. Really great movie. I highly recommend everyone to watch it. And it's one of Ryan Reynolds, I think, first movies where he was like a breakout star, I would say. It maybe not his first, but this was like when he was like kind of rising up. So this was kind of earlier on in his career. Really good movie. I know I just kind of like blew into a lot of that. What do you think? What do you like this one? Have you seen it?
I've seen it before. I don't remember too much about it though.
It's good.
I had no idea Anna Faris was in it, even though I've seen it before.
That's hilarious. Yeah, she's like the funniest part about the whole movie. There's one scene in it that's really funny where the brother is watching Anna Faris's character because she can't like do anything for herself, and he's just on like the phone with her, and then he does something that's I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but it's like one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie. To keep up with Samantha's continuous aggressiveness and hysterics, Anna Faris continually drank Red Bulls before filming. That's hilarious.
I love Anna Faris. Anna Faris.
Me too.
However you pronounce her name.
I think Anna Faris. Yeah, Anna Faris is awesome. She's cool. Scary movie, great movies. It took 4 hours to put the 12-pound face on Ryan Reynolds. When Reynolds stepped outside in full fat makeup, a fan of his came up to him and asked if Ryan Reynolds was inside. He said yes and pretended he wasn't himself.
Awesome.
Yeah, he must have pretended that he ate Ryan Reynolds. The movie was shot during winter in Regina and Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, when temperatures would go down as low as -29 Fahrenheit. In a deleted scene, Alanis Morissette plays herself having an antagonistic relationship with Ryan Reynolds' character. The two were dating at the time. That's funny. This was one of two films Anna Faris and Ryan Reynolds co-star in. The other is Waiting. Love that movie too. Highly recommend Waiting.
Yes.
Highly recommend. And the sequel too. The sequel's really good. Not as good, but still really good. I like the sequel. I think it's shitty, but I like it, and I like the character, the main character in the sequel, the Ryan Reynolds type. But that's just me. I like him as an actor too. He was in Shameless and in Stan Helsing. I love that guy. Cool. I love that guy. I love that guy's movies. It's good.
You love that man.
I love that man. Yeah.
When a man loves another man, cannot be denied.
Yeah, Mem Donnie. If anyone's curious, that's the episode Mem Donnie. But part two, the house
Whoa,
in
we
which.
should have named it When a Man Loves a Ma'am.
Oh shit, that's perfect. Maybe we should change that.
Nah.
No, keep it. All right. This is inspired by writer Adam Tex Davis' real life experience in the friend zone. That's hilarious. And the house in which Chris lives is the same that's used by Adam in Mulholland Drive. So there you go. All right. This next movie we're both a fan of. We both wanted this movie to be on the list, and we both think that this is just a really great Christmas movie. Highly recommend it for the holidays. It's basically and I didn't put this movie on the list, but it's kind of like Miracle on 34th Street. I think that's the one, or It's a Wonderful Life.
Not on the list?
No, those movies aren't on the list, but because this movie is basically those movies. We'll wrap those into this movie. This is basically a remake of those. It's like It's a Wonderful Life, basically. This movie. It's the family man. Offered the opportunity to see how the other half lives, a fast lane investment broker wakes up to find that his sports car and girlfriend have become a minivan and a wife. So he basically goes into like an alternate reality of himself where he's got like a family. But it's not like sci-fi, it's more like mystical, like Vision Questy. Like I'm pretty sure what's his face's character is supposed to be the Angel of Death, Don Cheadle, but I could be wrong about that. According to the DVD commentary, the scene where Jack gets back into his minivan and the minivan won't start was a happy accident that wasn't supposed to happen. The director thought it was a perfect beat and left it in the final cut. That's cool. The snow falling, symbolizing the changes in Jack's life, is a homage to It's a Wonderful Life from 1946. When Jack is changing baby Josh and he urinates on him, that is real and not an effect. Nick Cage's reaction is genuine, and he's trying not to laugh as he is cleaning it up. Brett Ratner thought it added chaos. Brett Ratner thought it added to the chaos and unexpectedness of the scene and kept it in. And how I thought it was funny that Brett Ratner directed this movie, because what a fucking guy. And last but not least, at one time, Nick Cage actually owned the Ferrari used in the film. He sold it about a year before filming began. Isn't that hilarious? That's crazy.
Nick Cage is a big car guy, or at least he was.
He is, and he also was a big broke guy because of shit. So watch out. Don't buy T-Rex heads that you can't authenticate for millions of dollars. That's a good moral of Nick Cage's story, right? You know that story, right?
Yeah, but he's just trying to have fun.
I agree. How cool would it be to have a T-Rex skull, but still?
I mean, I would still just want like a giant like replica. Why not? But I get wanting to have the real deal.
Well, that's how I feel. I would totally understand buying a replica like T-Rex, but like having the real skull, that just seems awesome.
T-Rex at that point, I would just do like a dragon.
Yeah.
You ever Series of Unfortunate Events, the movie?
Yes, I didn't put that on here, but that could definitely go on here, right? That's a Christmas movie.
But isn't there a scene where there's a giant snake skeleton?
I forgot. Was there? I haven't seen that movie in like 20 years.
At their uncle's place, who's obsessed with reptiles.
Yeah, I hated that level in the video game. It pissed me off so much.
The video game?
Yeah, the video game. I played it, and that level with the uncle was literally like the worst level ever. If anybody could comment below if you played that game and you remember how awful that level is, please back me up, because that level was dastardly. But yeah, I played a lot of random games as a kid. Honestly, we should go through random games one day that we played as a kid, like one-offs and shit that we just played. Like
we could talk about Gex.
I don't even know what that is.
He's a gecko.
Gex. We could talk about what are some random one-offs that I played. I feel like I have to like hear it and be like, oh, I played that, or you know what I mean. But all right, let's move to the next movie.
Attacking the Power of Juju.
Yes, I did play that once. I played that because Rocket Power advertised that as like an Easter egg in their game, and I loved playing Rocket Power. But I wasn't a big fan of Attacking the Power of Juju. I wasn't a fan of the TV show either.
Never watched the show.
The show was like whatever. Game was definitely better.
It's crazy that they made a TAC show, but they'd never made a Spyro show, Crash Bandicoot show. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, TAC came late, and even the show, I think, came like a little too late for like its own good, if that makes sense. Like, I think like when people weren't even that into it, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right, next movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I think we all know the National Lampoon story. They take vacations, hilarity ensues, and I actually wanted to put this on the list so bad. Like this is one of these are all like my favorite Christmas movies, but this one holds like a special place in my heart. Like I remember seeing this in high school in one of the classes they showed this movie at Christmas time and I couldn't believe it because this movie's kind of fucking crazy to show in school.
Yeah.
It was really good movie though. I don't discount the teacher for that one. This is the final film of Mae Questel, whose film career began in 1930 as the voice of Betty Boop. Even before cameras could roll, original director Chris Columbus came to the realization that he just could not work with the notoriously difficult Chevy Chase after meeting him. So even though he desperately needed the job at that point in his career, Columbus decided to quit the project. He was worried it would end his career, but then John Hughes brought him in to direct Home Alone, which became a massive hit a year later, earning over 6 times the amount of money. That is awesome. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation did with a budget of almost $10 million less. And despite Christmas Vacation being set in the Chicago area, the movie was filmed in Burbank, California at Warner Brothers Studios. Some outdoor scenes were shot in Breckenridge, Colorado, chosen for its usual heavy snowfall during that season. Funny enough, though, however, upon arrival, the production team faced a snowless situation and had to bring in a convoy of trucks to transport snow to specific locations. But ironically enough, after the snow delivery, Breckenridge experienced a massive snowfall of 10 feet in just 3 days, causing challenges for filming as the crew had to use snowcats to reach their shooting locations.
Sounds like a cursed movie.
That is nuts. Like, that's fucked up. Oh, you want to hear about cursed? A minor earthquake occurred when they were filming the scene where Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany arrive at the Griswold house. That makes sense for California, though.
The movie wasn't supposed to be made.
Christmas Vacation. I forgot how the theme song goes.
Home Alone is a much better Christmas movie.
I love Christmas Vacation. I don't like Home Alone that much, but I did put it on here. It is on here. It's funny, though, that Chris Columbus did so many Christmas movies. Chris Columbus. Maybe there's a, Chris. Maybe his name is Chris Christmas. I don't know. Maybe there's a connection there.
Fucking loves Christmas.
He loves Christmas. It's in his name. He's like Mas Chris. After Chris Columbus and John Hughes both declined to direct, Chevy Chase suggested to writer-producer Hughes that he contact George Roy Hill to direct because Chase had worked with Hill the previous year on Funny Farm and said it was the best director the actor ever worked with. Very odd movie. Still recommend, though, people watch Funny Farm. It's very weird. However, following Funny Farm's initial mediocre reception from audiences and critics, Hill retired from directing and turned down the offer to direct this film.
Many people did not want to make this.
After unsuccessful attempts to enlist John Hughes, Chris Columbus, and George Roy Hill as directors for the movie, it's all because of Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase proposed the idea of bringing back Harold Ramis, who had directed the original National Lampoon's Vacation. Ramis, obligated to co-write and co-star in Ghostbusters 2, unfortunately had to decline the offer to direct the sequel.
Dude, how many people could not make this movie?
I forgot who they ended up going with. It's crazy though that like they had so many people trying to make it.
Killing me.
I'm gonna look it up because I didn't end up putting it in, but I'll find out. The term Griswold house has become part of the American, Canadian, and Australian slang to describe a house that is overly decorated in a gaudy fashion to observe Christmas. Never heard that before in my entire life, but I could see that.
Yeah, like I don't think people in America at least really say like, oh, look at
that the Griswold house.
They just
that
say like,
sounds like an Australian thing.
That looks like do the Griswolds live there? Maybe that. The house looks like the Griswold house, but check out Griswold house over there.
Check out Griswold house over there. It was directed by Jeremiah S. Chechik, a 70-year-old guy at the time. Or maybe he's 70 now, I don't know. But that's who directed it. He also directed Oh no, he's 70 now, is what he is. He directed a lot of Chuck. He directed the Avengers movie, the British one, and other shit that I don't even recognize. Reginald the Vampire. He did Burn Notice, which I know that one, but still.
Burn Notice is fantastic.
It is. It is. That's a good one. Next up, another movie I like a lot, Surviving Christmas. I can blow through this one real quick. Basically, Ben Affleck is this really like uptight, like asshole that like works on like Wall Street or some shit like that. I don't know. He does some shit. I think he's like a banker, an accountant, or something like that. Anyways, big hotshot city guy. He ends up realizing that he doesn't really have a family to go home to Christmas to. So what he does is he goes to his like childhood house in like Chicago or some shit, and he's just standing out there, and his therapist basically told him like, hey, write down the things that you love or miss or whatever, or want to set free, and then burn them in like a place that means something to you. So he goes to his childhood home, and he tries to light this piece of paper on fire in front of the house. So then James Gandolfini, who's a dad at this point, he comes outside and like smacks him in the head with a shovel, and I think puts him out cold. So Ben Affleck decides like, oh shit, James Gandolfini can be like my dad too. So he hires James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara to be his parents as like actors, because you all know James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara are actors. Well, he hires them to act as his parents, and he hires the kid from Sex Drive, if anyone's familiar with that movie. The main character of that movie is in this movie too. He's the actor plays him. He's in this. He gets hired as the little brother, and then unbeknownst to Christina Applegate, she comes into the situation because everybody knows Gandolfini and Applegate, they're related. She's like, why are my family, why are they being hired for this shit? And, makes a big mess of the situation. So yeah, that's basically Surviving Christmas, and they have to deal with like this dude paying them like an astounding amount of money in order to basically like survive Christmas with him, and then basically like go on their like merry way afterwards. Or like the family's going through troubles. It's like a whole thing. It's a good movie though. Highly recommend it.
If an old man wanted to pay you like $1,000 a day for you to be his son for the holidays, would you do it?
I mean, there would have to be serious stipulations, and I would want way more than $1,000. This dude was going to pay them like fat sums, like hundreds of thousands a piece. You know what I mean? That's the kind of shit that I would want. I wouldn't want like $1,000. That just sounds cheap.
All right,
but
$100,000 just for each holiday season that he spends with you, and he has to spend it with you. Like he'll live with you.
Jesus, this is weird. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, $100,000 would be great. I would bargain with him if I'm able to barter. If that's the flat fee, then I'm not into it. But if I'm able to barter with the guy, especially based on like the shit that I have to put up with,
try bartering right now. What would you say?
I'm not gonna try because I'm saying it's situational. Like
in this counter offer.
Well, in this movie, the dude puts James Gandolfini through so much bullshit that the James Gandolfini has to basically be like, hey, I'm gonna need more money than this, otherwise, like this is too much. Because he keeps adding shit onto the contract, and we're not adding shit, but like doing shit that's not in the contract. So
like it would have to give me an example. I've never seen this movie.
So like they go like tobogganing and do shit like that. They also like they have to like act out like what do you call it? They have to act out a script, and at certain points, like if they break script, then that's like going against the contract on James Gandolfini's part. But then like Ben Affleck's character will add stuff into the script that wasn't there, which breaks like contract on his part. So they have to keep like renegotiating and shit. And it gets to like a certain point where James Gandolfini wants to quit, but Ben Affleck's like, I'll give you a shit ton of money. And he's just like, all right, this is a great movie. You should watch it.
I should.
It's really good. Funny. Very funny. All right. The production was shot without a completed script. As a result, there were many delays and arguments over what to shoot. And James Gandolfini admitted in a behind-the-scenes interview that most of the film was improvised. I don't know. I was trying to do my best James Gandolfini there. Jon Favreau was offered a chance to direct, but declined and made Elf instead.
Jon Favreau made Elf?
Yes, he did. And that we're going to get into that because that...
Oh, what a guy.
We'll get into it. The original Christmas 2003 release date was pushed back 10 months to avoid competing with another Ben Affleck film, Paycheck, which our audiences might know as being based on one of Philip K. Dick's stories, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, which one?
I forgot, but I'm pretty sure that was one. Let's make sure. It's based on the short story of the same name by legendary author Philip K. Dick. Very interesting movie. Because of this, there's a 2003 calendar hanging in Brian's bedroom near the door. So I guess it's funny because the movie looks like it takes place in 2003, but it came out in 2004. John White, who worked on the film as Ben Affleck's stand-in, wrote a devastating depiction of what the filming was like in his book, Dreams That Die, Misadventures of Hollywood. That's hilarious. James Gandolfini was only 10 years and 2 months older than Christina Applegate, who played his daughter in this film. Hilarious.
It is hilarious.
That is
just always looked like an old man.
He does. Released to DVD just 9 weeks after it opened in theaters, this film was partially filmed in the far northwest Chicago neighborhood of Edgebrook in January of 2003. The idea was to utilize the winter weather. Unfortunately, by the time filming commenced, it wasn't snowing, but was extremely cold. And the snow machines had to be used. That's crazy. Another snow machine case. And this is one of 2 competing Christmas-themed movies released in late 2004. Christmas with the Cranks, released a month after Surviving Christmas, was originally going to be titled Skipping Christmas, which is the name of John Grisham's novel upon which it was based. Out of concern that audiences would be confused by the similar sounding titles, producers of Christmas with the Cranks changed the name. Interesting little fact there. And that's a movie I have on the list later down the line too. But the next movie everyone will know as Elf. Everybody knows Will Ferrell's biological father, Walter Hobbs, who doesn't know he exists and is desperate need of some Christmas spirit. He goes out to find him and gives him that spirit. Great movie. I think we can agree that this is like one of the best movies on the list objectively, right?
Yes.
Like I would say this is like this is the Christmas movie, like for the modern day. There's no doubt about it. You know, ever since it came out, this has just been the movie that like you watch around Christmas time.
Yeah, people start to hate it because they see it all the time, and get over it.
Well, no, and that
no one hates Rudolph.
Well, exactly. To me, this is like hating really good Christmas songs. Like, just because it's a Christmas song doesn't make it not really good. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. That's a banger. That's besides the point. You can't knock good art. What?
The song This Christmas?
What is that one? How does that one go?
That's like, I'm not going to sing it. Are you crazy? Are you insane?
You know what one I like a lot?
Fucking insane, dude. Get the hell out of here.
I've had stuck in my head the song that goes, Christmas, snow coming down, Christmas. Something, just whatever, however it goes.
Fucking, yeah. You're off your rocker, dude. You lost it.
You're off your rocker. All right, let's get back to the trivia. The scene when Buddy eats different candies and pastries with the spaghetti noodles had to be shot twice because Will Ferrell vomited the first time. That's fucking crazy. That's nuts. Several minor traffic accidents occurred when Will Ferrell walked through the Lincoln Tunnel in his costume because people were so surprised and distracted from their driving to see him wearing an elf outfit. That's funny. Will Ferrell turned down $29 million to be in a sequel in late 2014. James Caan revealed the reason was that Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau didn't get along. Oof. Apparently, Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell hated each other on the set.
What? That's a big bummer.
Yeah, it is. I agree. The cotton balls Buddy eats while in the doctor's office was actually cotton candy that had not been dyed. Funny story there. That's a pretty cool little what do you call that trick? Filmmaking trick. Wanda Sykes was originally slated to play the Gimbals manager, but backed out at the last minute. She was replaced by Faison Love, who insisted on still wearing the name tag made for Sykes, which is why his tag explicitly says Wanda. Funny. Director Jon Favreau used a remote control to trigger the Jack-in-the-Box toys to get the startled reactions from Will Ferrell. So maybe there's a reason why they hate each other. The crew was adamant to make the movie a homage to the Rankin-Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and had started to include references to that film. In the confidence that all copyright issues had already been taken care of, this turned out to...
You know the narwhal scene at the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, isn't Sam Snowman also in it?
Yeah. He's basically like Sam the Snowman, yeah. I don't think he's the exact same guy, but he's like the same like gist. It's all like off like brand versions of him. It turns out this was an oversight when the studio's legal department informed them that no permission had been obtained from Rudolph's copyright holders. And soon lawyers from New Line Cinema popped up in all facets of production, suggesting that Will Ferrell should start wearing a blue costume instead of green, which would mean that they had to either reshoot all of his scenes or digitally color correct his and other suits. However, all legal issues were later cleared when
it's the color of Christmas.
Exactly. However, all were later cleared when they found out that Rudolph was never properly copyrighted, containing an error in the Roman numerals of its copyright notice, so the movie could freely include elements from it. You can't show Rudolph and all that, like you can't show the movie, but you can have elements of it in your production. So that was one thing learned from this whole fiasco. On the final day of shooting in New York City, it was just director Jon Favreau and Will Ferrell and a cameraman driving around the city looking for locations to shoot. They would jump out and ask pedestrians if they would be willing to be extras for some quick cash while Ferrell paraded around acting like Buddy. Or they would let Ferrell surprise people and ask their permission afterwards, like the man Buddy mistakes for Santa. Much of the montage when Buddy first arrives in New York City was filmed then, such as when he is getting his shoes shined and is jumping between traffic.
Great.
Director Jon Favreau drew Buddy's crayon drawing of himself in the card he made for his dad. So that's a little funny there. I feel like I've seen that before.
Do you think it's more like Will Ferrell doesn't like Jon Favreau?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of the two, but I think it's probably Will Ferrell more so on this one.
Because Will Ferrell's the one that declined to do a sequel.
Yeah, no, I think it's more so Will Ferrell. I think what it is too is I think some people just can't work together, and Will Ferrell is the type of guy where I'm sure he can work with a lot of people, but I'm sure he has to be able to work with them because if you'll notice, like he's in a lot of movies that are directed or written by the same guy. And I feel like there's a thing there where certain people know how to direct or shoot Will Ferrell. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like Adam Sandler and shit. Adam Sandler doesn't just like pop up in most movies. Usually he has his buddies write and direct the movie.
All right.
Same thing with Tom Cruise.
Do you got any more facts about this movie?
I don't, but this next movie I think you're going to like. This is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but I more so got the Jim Carrey version on this one. So if anyone was wondering, this is mostly just the Grinch. Great movie, right? We can all agree the Grinch is an amazing movie. Yeah, Jim Carrey, classic. Love this movie. Whoville, Cindy Lou, all that shit. You've got the chick that the Grinch fell in love with when they were both kids, and then he forever wanted to hate Christmas because of like the way that the bullies and the assholes that went to his school treated him because he was, furry and shit. It's fucked up. It's fucking assholes. That's a lot of Rudolph right there. The Grinch was a punk too, but you know what? He was more overtly a punk. Yeah, the Grinch was definitely overtly a punk, but he was awesome. We all love the Grinch. He's a cool dude. He tried to steal Christmas, and then he figured out how awesome the holidays are, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to chill into some holiday cheer, and my heart grew 3 sizes that day, or something like that.
Something stupid like that.
No, just something like that. His heart grew 3 sizes that day. It's beautiful. All right, so that's the story of the Grinch, basically. That's our synopsis of it, or my synopsis, I should say. The Grinch directing his dog Max before stealing Christmas is a result of Jim Carrey making fun of producer and director Ron Howard, imitating his style of directing. Howard found the scene hilarious and decided to include it in the movie. That's awesome. Ron Howard seems like a pretty cool director. I hope nothing bad ever comes of him, or I hope he never did anything bad. He seems like the cool Joss Whedon.
How would you say that?
I'm just saying, like, he's been in a lot of big Hollywood, like he's like up there with like directing stuff and doing stuff with Steven Spielberg, and like, you know what I mean? Like, he's been in some really
saying you
high.
Hope he's not a pedophile?
I just hope that there's no like real bad skeletons in his closet. And he also looks like the type of guy who there might be. So that also brings me fear, but who knows? He looks a lot like Joss Whedon. He looks just like Joss Whedon. But Joss Whedon looks like the evil. Yeah. Well, but Joss Whedon looks like the evil version of Ron Howard. So that maybe I'm judging too much. But Joss Whedon is definitely evil. So maybe, I don't know. He definitely seems fucked up.
Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at a later date. Let's see. According to Rick Baker, the prosthetic makeup Jim Carrey wore took about 2 hours to apply and 1 hour to remove. Carrey revealed on the Graham Norton show in 2007 that he felt so confined and uncomfortable in the latex skin that he sought counseling from a CIA agent who taught him torture-resistant techniques. That's crazy. I don't remember putting this on the list. That's fucking nuts. That's a good one. That might be one of the best facts. Like, yeah, that's weird. It is. That's an as the world burns fact right there. I
wonder how they got in touch.
Yeah. And Jim Carrey's such a weird guy now. Like, he's like super anti-government, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's very like he believes in a lot of like occulty and spiritual shit. But he's a wild card. If you ever want to see like an interesting like Jim Carrey interview, if anybody is curious about like what we're talking about when I say all that about him being like a culty and shit, even though it seems like he's joking, check out the interview that he did on Norm Macdonald's podcast. It's very good, and it kind of goes through it a little bit. Anyways, the line 6:30 p.m. dinner with me, I can't cancel that again, was improvised by Jim Carrey. That's hilarious. Dinner with me, I can't cancel that again. Oh, I can't cancel that again. I gotta try to do a good Grinch voice. The jewels in Martha May's hair when she is explaining the Grinch's backstory came from the tree topper that the young Grinch made from Martha, implying that she still has feelings for him. Beautiful. Producer and director Ron Howard was so thankful for Jim Carrey putting up with the uncomfortable hours to apply his makeup that during filming he put on the Grinch suit with full makeup and directed one day with the suit on. That's awesome. He intended for this to be a show of appreciation to Carrey. However, when Carrey saw Howard in full Grinch outfit, he was angered, believing it was a stunt double who looked nothing like him. That's funny. Holy shit. Jim Carrey's Grinch suit is covered in yak hair, which was dyed green and sewn onto a spandex suit. Yak hair. Jim Carrey spent 92 days in Grinch makeup, spending 2 hours in the morning getting in and 1 hour in the evening getting out. According to Carrey, he became a Zen master while sitting in the makeup chair. Jim Carrey was suggested for the title role by Audrey Gizel, the widow of Dr. Seuss, who controlled the rights to the book. That's cool. That's really cool. She also suggested Jack Nicholson, Dustin Hoffman, and Robin Williams. I think Jim Carrey was a perfect fit, though. I think that was
I
a
could see
great
Jack
idea.
Nicholson though.
I could see Jack Nicholson, especially post Joker. I'm sure that she had that in mind when.
Makes me think that maybe Jim Carrey was trying to act like Jack Nicholson a little bit sometimes.
Well, of course he was. Isn't there like a lot of like Jack Nicholson impressions that he does? I
I don't
thought
know.
that's like a thing. Isn't the smoking impression or isn't when he goes smoking, isn't that like supposed to be Jack Nicholson? I forgot.
Sure.
I could be wrong.
Isn't that from The Mask?
Yeah, but The Mask has a lot of like references and like impressions and shit. And I'm pretty sure that's one of them. I could be wrong though. He probably even like does like a Joker impression in The Mask cuz that came out right after. All right. Jim Carrey, yeah, we already read that one. The Whoville set was primarily constructed on the Universal Studios backlot. I guess I have a lot of Grinch trivia for this one. So, uh, behind the Bates Motel. During a filming break, Jim Carrey startled tourists on the Universal backlot tour by running out of the motel wearing a dress and waving a knife. None of the visitors recognize him, and tour guides still share the story when passing the Bates Motel on their tour. That's funny. Holy shit, I do have a lot of them for all right, couple more. Sir Anthony Hopkins recorded all of the narration for this movie in one day. Easy paycheck for the man. Jim Carrey's accent in The Grinch is based off Sean Connery. Oh my god, I can't do a Sean Connery. Maybe that's why. That's my issue. I can't do Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's your issue.
That's my issue. Jim Carrey, with no accompaniment nor anything to alter his voice, sang a few verses of the signature song, You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, which had the lyrics written by Dr. Seuss himself. This was the highest grossing movie since Home Alone in 1990. And speaking of, the next movie is Home Alone from 1990. What a great Christmas movie. I prefer the second
we're
one.
gonna lump in Home Alone 2 right with it.
Well, I was just gonna say I prefer the second one. We are, but this is mostly about the first. But yes, Home Alone 2 is lumped in with this because it's just fantastic. It's so good. Another
Yeah. And
Christmas
I know you'll
Catherine.
probably disagree. Home Alone 3 ain't bad.
I will probably disagree with that. I never watched it. Maybe I won't disagree with it, but maybe I will because I'm not a huge Home Alone fan. So
I will
maybe
say though, never seen
probably
Home
will.
Alone 4.
I don't think anyone's seen Home Alone 4. I know it exists, but I don't think anyone's actually watched it.
Yeah.
And if they did, they had to claw out their eyes. All right. Home Alone 1. We all know the story. We kind of went through this gist when we were talking about the babysitter in the Halloween episode. Very fascinating. A kid gets left home alone. Yeah, see what I did there? And he basically has to fend for himself from Joe Pesci and what was the other dude's name? Daniel Stern. Yeah, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, who are these wild and crazy guys, but they turn to a life of crime in this movie, and they decide to become the Sticky Bandits. And they decide to rob all the places. Or are they the Sticky Bandits? Yeah. In the sequel, they're like the Faucet Bandits or some shit. I forgot. I remember that was a thing where like one of the things that they did was like they tracked all their crimes to the same person because they they like did that, like they turned on the faucet or something like that. And the guy, Daniel Stern's character, is even like, it's a signature move. But funny. Here's some trivia facts about Home Alone. Joe Pesci deliberately avoided Macaulay Culkin on set because he wanted Culkin to think that he was mean. Funny. Catherine O'Hara revealed in 2014 that Macaulay Culkin still calls her mom. That's cute. Everyone
Weird.
on, yeah. Macaulay Culkin just seems like a weird guy, though. But
Yeah.
he seems like a
I had a
lucky
crush
guy.
on her.
He's definitely got a weird relationship. Definitely got a weird relationship with her. And I don't know. I can't say much about Macaulay Culkin. He's married to Brenda Song, and
He's probably a cool guy.
he's probably yeah, he's probably a cool guy. Everyone on set was amazed with how mature and professional Macaulay Culkin was. See, there we go. Joe Pesci told Entertainment Weekly, Mac is not like a 9-year-old. He's an old man already. That's fucking hilarious. He calls him Mac. Oh, shit.
But that's what's cool about the character. Like Kevin McAllister is like that.
He is. He is. He's got like he's got an old soul feel. Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern felt indifferent about the movie's potential during shooting, so they intentionally gave over-the-top performances, neither one of them believing this movie would become a massive success. Macaulay Culkin's stunt double was a very short 30-year-old man. That's hilarious. That's fucking great. Although John Hughes was fiercely defensive of his screenplay, insisted that everyone deliver his lines as written, he allowed his friend John Candy to improvise. This was actually a trademark of writer and producer Hughes, who also had the 5 students in the Breakfast Club improvise when they told one another why they were in detention. In the film, I didn't know that part. In the film, almost all of Candy's dialogue is improvised. That's funny. And last but not least, John Williams stepped in when the original composer backed out. Chris Columbus jokingly suggested Williams, even though they never thought they could get him. But after he saw an early cut of the movie, he was enchanted and happily stepped in. So that's cool. So the next movie is A Christmas Story. In the 1940s, a young boy named Ralphie Parker attempts to convince his parents, teacher, and Santa Claus that a Red Ryder Range 200-shot BB gun really is the perfect Christmas gift. I was never a huge fan of this movie. I'm still not a huge fan of this movie. How about you?
I've
What do you?
never seen it.
I think it's like a classic movie. You know what I mean? It has a classic movie feel to it, even though it's like a 1980s movie. It feels like a
Yeah.
movie from like the 50s, and it kind of has that dryness about it, but that's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's just one of those types of movies. But yeah, since we're not too glued to this one, I'll just run through the facts real quick. For the scene in which Flick's tongue sticks to the flagpole, a hidden suction cup tube was used to safely create the illusion that his tongue had frozen to the metal. That's the classic thing. He gets his tongue tucked to the. He gets his tongue stuck to the metal. Jesus, I couldn't say that. I got to keep that in.
Talking about that scene where he gets his tongue stuck to the metal.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's the other scene where the Santa Claus kicks him down the slide, and he goes, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid." And that's like the other famous one. The whole movie, you know what it is? You know why I don't like this movie? Because the whole movie feels like a fever dream. And I finally figured it out. That's why I don't like this movie. Because the whole movie, and it's meant to be like a happy go lucky, really good movie, like feel good movie, but it feels like a movie that you watch when you're sitting in the bed on Christmas with the flu and you can't do anything but suffer. And it feels like a dry Christmas, like fever dream of a movie. I think people will agree with me on this one. I think that's why I don't like it, but it's interesting. Darren McGavin ad-libbed the profane rants while fighting with the furnace. He said he speaks gibberish the entire time because it was almost impossible for him to ad-lib angry words without actual profanity. He did this in order to ensure a PG rating, and it would be deemed inappropriate for a family-friendly film. The film was released just before Thanksgiving and became a surprise hit. By the time Christmas rolled around, the movie had already been pulled from most theaters because it had been played out, quote. After complaints were lodged at the theater owners and the studio, the film played on select screens until after the first year of 1984. Wow, that's funny. The people of Cleveland were incredibly cooperative during filming, donating antique vehicles from every corner of the city. These vintage vehicles helped to enhance the authenticity for the production design. During the filming in downtown Cleveland, the Antique Automobile Club members whose cars were used were given a route to follow on Public Square. They were instructed to continue circling the square until otherwise instructed. Road salt was a major concern for the car owners, and the cars were pressure washed after each day's filming and parked underground beneath the terminal tower. That's crazy. All right. And the final trivia for this one, and then our next movie, which everyone's going to love, especially juxtaposed to this one. The film's setting is a town in Indiana, was actually filmed in Cleveland, Ohio. To find an American city resembling an Indiana town of the 1940s, director Bob Clark sent his location scouts to 20 cities before selecting Cleveland. Interesting. The next film is one that we're adding in it was an honorable mention, but we're gonna add it in as one of the big kahunas. And this is a movie I didn't see until later on in life, honestly. Like
it's just so much Christmas in it.
There's so much Christmas in it.
It's a famous movie.
Super famous.
That's like acclaimed. That's a Christmas movie.
It is. It's starring a beloved actor. It's directed by a beloved director. A movie that, just like you said, it just has Christmas all over it. So the movie that we're going to be doing right now, or talking about, is Eyes Wide Shut. And honestly, I kind of want to read the storyline real quick. That way people get a real good idea of what this movie's about. This is the synopsis on IMDb, or the storyline. After his wife, Alice, tells him about her sexual fantasies, William Harford sets out for a night of sexual adventure. After several less than successful encounters, he meets an old friend, Nick Nightingale, who, now a musician, tells him of a strange sex party where he is required to play the piano blindfolded. All the men at the party are costumed. I mean, you could go either way, and wear masks, while the women are all young and beautiful. Oh, Jesus. Harford manages to find an appropriate costume and heads out to the party. Once there, however, he is warned by someone who recognizes him, despite the mask, that he is in great danger, and he manages to extricate himself, but the threats prove to be quite real and sinister. So in case you don't realize, this is Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise, directed by Stanley Kubrick, also starring Nicole Kidman. Fantastic movie. Definitely a Christmas movie in a very odd way. When, the man over here is not wrong. Anyways, here are some facts that we can read about Eyes Wide Shut. Everybody knows what it's about. Also, what do you say to get in?
Party?
Yeah.
Fidelio?
Exactly. Fidelio. Fidelio
mean?
What is the password?
Fidelio.
It's like we do it like that Robot Chicken sketch where they just keep saying Fidelio over and over again. All right.
What does it mean, though?
Isn't it Latin for something?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
What does it mean? Does it mean fidelity? Because that would make sense. Fidelio can refer to a person's name, a famous opera, or a company's name, all of which have origins in the Latin word fidelis, meaning faithful. It is best known as
Fidelity.
Yeah, it is best known as Ludwig van Beethoven's only opera, which tells the story of a woman disguised as a man to save her husband from political prison, symbolizing themes of courage, devotion, and justice. That sounds familiar right there. The disguise, all that shit. So that was Eyes Wide Shut. The next movie we're going to be talking about after Eyes Wide Shut, the only movie that could follow such a powerful movie based around Christmas, is Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. So we all know the tale of the Santa Claus, and actually just this year I figured out that it was called the Santa Claus because it's a clause. It's not because his name is Santa Claus.
You only just found that out?
Well, I just realized. I mean, it's one of those things where I never it just never occurred to me. It's like the Beatles being called the Beatles. That never occurred to me that it's because they're the Beatles, That's another thing I learned just the last few years. Some of these like in your face,
Are you
like
kidding?
what is it?
Are you messing with me?
I swear to God, some of these in your face like puns and stuff like that, I just never got, I guess. I'm not messing with you.
Interesting.
Yeah. What are some other ones that I probably wouldn't have gotten? What are some other things that are like clearly puns that are like flowing onto the radar? Are there any other things you can think of like that?
Not right now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, so the Santa Claus it's a classic. I'll be honest with you, I liked this movie a lot when I was a kid, but as I got older, it just kind of, I don't know. Especially the third one. The third one is awful. Like the third one is so fucking bad. Do you feel that way or do you disagree?
The Santa Claus. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I hated the third one though. That's what made me not like these movies is the fact that the third one even exists. That's the Jack Frost one or whatever, the escape clause or whatever. And then they had, you know what freaked me out is the toy Santa Claus. I think that's why I didn't like the movie is because they had a puppet Santa Claus that I thought was the freakiest, dumbest looking thing ever. But who knows?
who knows?
Yeah. So here's the trivia facts for the Santa Claus. One of the children in Charlie's class during Parents' Day is an elf with pointed ears, which can clearly be seen when Charlie pulls a snow globe out of his backpack. When Charlie tells the class that his dad is Santa Claus, the elf boy is the only one who doesn't laugh. That's funny. For 1 week in November 1994, Tim Allen had the number one movie at the box office, the number one rated TV show, Home Improvement, and the number one New York Times best-selling book, or Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man. And the dance that Tim Allen, Eric Lloyd, David Krumholtz, Paige Tamata, and the other elves do to ZZ Top's Give Me All Your Lovin' during the montage before Scott's second Christmas Eve as Santa was improvised and done in one take. The director kept it because it was so good. That's pretty cool. And this is the first lead film role for Tim Allen. I didn't know that.
That was his first lead role?
Yeah. I feel like he just like burned out real quick. You know what I mean? Like nobody really cares about Tim Allen anymore. Very 90s and 2000s actor. But yeah, that was his first lead role. When Scott is in denial, he wears black Converse shoes, but when he wears red Converse shoes later in the movie when he fully embraces being Santa. Fun. There are several portraits of presumably past Santas on the wall of Santa's bedroom. This shows that this is not the first time that the reins have changed hands, confirming the film's main plot point. I never realized that they show the past Santa Clauses. That's pretty cool. Tim Allen has a criminal record, and Disney has a strict no hiring of ex-cons policy. An exception was made in this case. In the role of Scott Calvin, what'd you say?
Yeah, because he was like trafficking cocaine or something.
Yeah, that or like he was like a coke dealer or something like that. It was something crazy. The role of Scott Calvin was written with Bill Murray in mind. After reading the script and being offered the lead role, Murray declined, saying he didn't think it suited his humor. I think it would have worked for Bill Murray, honestly. You know what I mean? He's got that kind of assholishness. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I probably would have liked him in that role more than Tim Allen, but who knows? Let's see. The next movie actually comes from those types of guys. It's called Trading Places. This is one of my favorite holiday movies. I would say this is like a Thanksgiving to Christmas movie, if that makes sense. Like Thanksgiving leading up to Christmas. It's really good. It's with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Have you seen this movie? Oh, and Jamie Lee Curtis. I think we talked a little bit about this off pod, but I forgot if you saw it or not.
I think I've seen it once.
It's really good. I feel like I saw this as a kid and didn't get it, so I didn't like it. And then later on, as an adult, I just think it's one of like the funniest holiday movies. It's about a snobbish Wall Street commodities broker played by Dan Aykroyd and a wily street hustler played by Eddie Murphy. They find their positions reversed as part of a bet by two callous millionaire brothers who run a brokerage house. This movie's kind of funny too because it has Dan Aykroyd in blackface. So I don't condone that. He dresses like a Jamaican and wears blackface and pretends to be a Rastafari. That scene definitely didn't age well. But Jamie Lee Curtis plays a good Swedish person. This was Ralph Bellamy's 99th film and Don Amesh's 49th. This was Eddie Murphy's second film, and he joked, between the three of us, we've made 150 movies. That's funny. Several funny moments in the film came about by accident. Mortimer Duke, Don Amesh, having trouble catching the money clip wasn't supposed to happen that way, but the actors kept going with it and not breaking character, so it was kept in the movie. And Ophelia's Swedish disguise came about because Jamie Lee Curtis couldn't do the correct Austrian accent. That's funny. Ralph Bellamy play Randolph, and Donna Mesh Mortimer make cameo appearances in the movie Coming to America as the same characters. The two are now homeless, and Prince Akeem, Eddie Murphy, gives them a large amount of money to get them back off the streets. That's funny. I remember seeing that in Coming to America, never realizing that that was like a connection to this movie. At around 1 hour and 50 minutes, Don Amesh's strong religious convictions made him uncomfortable with swearing. This proved to be a problem for the scene at the end of the movie where he had to shout out, "Fuck him," to a group of Wall Street executives. When he did act out the scene, it had to be done in one take because Amesh refused to do a second one. That's funny. And in 2010, as part of a Wall Street Transparency and Accountability Act, which was to regulate financial markets, a rule was included which barred anyone from using secret inside information to corner markets, similar to what the Duke brothers tried to do in the movie. Since the movie inspired this rule, it has since become known as the Eddie Murphy rule. So that's funny. This movie inspired a Wall Street law. And last but not least, in 2001, Eddie Murphy stated that the making of this film was the most fun he'd had on a set and that every film afterward felt like work. That's funny. I mean, it was only his second movie, but I get it. All right. This is the long-awaited movie. This is the movie that one time around Christmas, I took mushrooms and watched this and had just the worst time of my life. But I did feel like it needed to be on this list because one, it's one of the only other movies that famous person of this podcast, person that we talk about, Jake Lloyd. It's one of the only movies that he's in. I don't know if he's only in two, but these are the only two movies I can think of, is Phantom of the Menace and this movie. And it's just a classic in a weird way. And I think it's having a panic attack while on mushrooms made me kind of hate this movie and see the worst in it. But I still think it's a good classic Christmas movie. And it's called Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You like this movie?
It's not bad.
It's just a lot. I remember when I watched it, like on mushrooms, the energy was just too much, and it was just like almost infectious to the point where I was like, oh my God, this is capitalism. Like, this is crazy. I'm having a crazy time right now thinking about this. It was a lot, but I don't know. It is a good movie. You know what I mean? It's a good movie. Let's see. Howard Langston, a mattress salesman, is constantly busy at his job. He was a mattress salesman? What? He also constantly disappoints his son, Jamie. It's funny that his name was Jamie and his name is Jake Lloyd. Jays. After he misses Jamie's karate exposition, he tries hard to come up with a way to make it up to him. He says that all he wants for Christmas is a Turbo Man action figure. Unfortunately for Howard, it is Christmas Eve, and every store is sold out. Now Howard must travel all over town and compete with everybody else, including a mailman named Myron Larrabee, to find one, and to make it to the holiday wintertainment parade, which will feature Turbo Man. Dun 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 dun. So yeah, this was a pretty good movie, but again, it's got a lot of energy. If you don't mind that, it's a good background movie. Honestly, it's good if you put something on and you want to talk to the family or whatever on Christmas and just have something that's just causing a lot of chaos in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like Dogma for Thanksgiving.
Dogma for Thanksgiving.
Or is it Easter? Easter's more of a Dogma holiday. That's what it is. I remember seeing Dogma on some holiday a lot on Comedy Central. It must be Easter. Dogma for Thanksgiving. This movie features one of the classic comedians, Sinbad, and he improvised the majority of his lines. Arnold Schwarzenegger also improvised many of his responses to conversations with him. The story is based on the 1980s shopping frenzy over the Cabbage Patch Dolls. However, it ended up mimicking perfectly the Tickle Me Elmo craze of Christmas 1996. I think that's when this was made, was 96 too. In March 2001, a U.S. District Court jury in Birmingham, Michigan ruled that 20th Century Fox stole the script idea from Detroit high school biology teacher Brian Webster. The studio was ordered to pay $19 million, later reduced to $1.5 million. Webster submitted the script called Could This Be Christmas to the studio in '94 and never received payment nor credit despite the film making $129 million worldwide. The studio appealed, claiming Webster's script was submitted after they had purchased a treatment summary or outline of what would become this movie's script, and the verdict was reversed. So that's crazy. So it ended up not being ripped off. In contrast to their characters, both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rita Wilson got along very well with Phil Hartman off camera. They found him to be very warm and friendly and considered him to be a delight to work with. I mean, that makes sense. Phil Hartman seems like a delight in general, or seemed.
Was he murdered by his wife?
We got to talk about that. Yeah, Phil Hartman's wife murdered him. Maybe we should go over that real quick right now, but one of these days we should do like a big thing about that, because that's definitely like one of those Hollywood stories that's crazy. But just to get everyone caught up, Phil Hartman was famous for being Troy McClure on The Simpsons. That was his most famous thing he ever did. Nothing else trumps that. No, I'm just kidding. Now he was on SNL for a long time. He did a lot of other roles. He was one of the dads in Small Soldiers, which he was hilarious. He was hilarious in a lot of things though, but he had a very distinctive voice that just made his delivery on everything just warm but comedic. Right? That about sums it up for who he was.
He was Joe Rogan's best friend, apparently.
Is that true?
He was good friends with Joe Rogan.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
That's what Joe Rogan says.
I mean, I guess Phil Hartman can't really say anything now about that. But I guess what happened was his wife, she had some mental issues, and I guess something happened where she just like had like a psychotic break, and she like shot him, I think it was. And I forgot how exactly this shook out, but from what I could tell, she called one of their like neighbors, one of their best friends, who was also like happened to be one of their neighbors. And she basically said that she shot him. And I forget if he came over and then she ended up killing herself, or like what ended up happening there. But it was kind of a crazy situation. But yeah, psychotic breaks, not good. Let's move on to the next trivia. The world premiere was held on November 16th, 1996 at the Mall of America in Bloomington, where parts of the film were shot. A day of events was held to celebrate the film's release, and Arnold Schwarzenegger donated memorabilia from the film to the mall's Planet Hollywood. And last but not least, producer Chris Columbus wanted Joe Pesci to play Myron, but he was deemed too short at 5 feet and 3 inches next to Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is 6 feet and 2 inches, and Schwarzenegger had previously appeared in 2 films alongside Danny DeVito, who is even shorter. Well, that's sad. They could have had Joe Pesci in. I wonder if Myron was Sinbad's character. I don't know. All right. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies also. It's definitely my favorite Christmas horror movie. It's Gremlins. You know, classic Mogwai.
Never seen it.
You've never seen Gremlins. Come on. Really?
Never seen Gremlins.
Wow. That's really a surprise. Gremlins is definitely a classic. You should watch it. I might like the second one more. At least I did as a kid, but it's a very good movie. You know what it has? It has very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle energy. Did you ever watch that? Like that trilogy?
Look, the live action ones?
Yeah, exactly. From the 90s.
I think I've seen the first 2.
So that's what it kind of reminds me of, that kind of energy, like that kind of vibe. One? Yeah, there's a third one. Secret of the Ooze, I think, is the second one, and then in the third one, something happens.
Something happens.
Something happens. In the third one, something happens. That's kind of how you could describe the Hangover trilogy. The first two are the same, and then in the third one, something happens. Yeah, Gremlins is great. It's basically about the dad wants to buy his son something extravagant, so he goes to Chinatown and he finds like this little store that's like a hole in the wall. The son of this old guy or like grandson or something, basically, uh, he doesn't want to. The grandfather doesn't want to sell the Mogwai to him, but he decides to. The son or the grandson decides that they need the money, so he like sneaks out the back and in the alley and sells him the Mogwai. And what ends up happening is he tells him like you can't like feed him past midnight, you can't get him wet, and there was one other thing too. You can't let sunlight hit him. That's what it was. So he takes him home, he gives him to his son, and his son starts to do some shit, and he starts to like watch him and have him sing for him and shit, because Mogwai's like singing. And what eventually happens is uh Gizmo is what his name is. He gets water spilled on him, and he like shoots out like a whole bunch of different he shoots out a whole bunch of other like Mogwais with like different personalities and shit. And they end up like eating chicken past midnight, like from the fridge and shit. And they turn into these really fucked up, like crazy, like creatures called gremlins that are like real reptilian and shit. And they just like start wreaking havoc on like the whole town, and they like start multiplying. So Gizmo and the main character just have to like fight them off, like, and defend like the whole town. It's a pretty great movie, honestly. It's awesome. But that's like the gist of Gremlins. Um, Originally, so here's the trivia. Are you serious, dude? It's so good. That is such a controversial take to be like, I'll pass on Gremlins. That's like edgy. That's like an edgy take. I'll pass. Like, dude, this is Steven Spielberg and Joe Dante. Originally, Stripe and Gizmo were the same character. This changed when executive producer Steven Spielberg insisted one of the Gremlins be a good guy with whom the audience could identify. Director Joe Dante expressed that this decision was the reason why the film is fondly remembered. An earlier attempt to have monkeys play the Gremlins was abandoned because the test monkey panicked when it was made to wear a gremlin head. That's fucking hilarious. That's fucked up, but that's hilarious. Just a fucking gremlin just like running around like with like looking like a monkey. It's crazy. Zach Galligan recounted in an interview that when the movie was made, there was no CGI, so all of the gremlins were animatronics, each costing between $30,000 to $40,000, $60,000 to $90,000 adjusted for 2024 inflation. When everyone left, Joe Biden. When everyone left the lot for the day, security would have everyone open the trunks of their cars to make sure they weren't stolen. That's funny. And little
Do you
to
think
no.
anybody has those now? Do you think somebody has a gremlin animatronic?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they would have been stolen, but I'm sure like some of the producers and shit like would have kept them, like Joe Dante or something like that. But
I'm saying like not even stolen, just like somebody 30 years later. How many years ago was this?
This was I think 40 years ago. This was like 1987, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I remember when this movie came out. Little to no actual. I do, to answer your question though, I do think that there's like a few people that do have them, but I think they're probably mostly in like back lots and in museums and shit, like prop museums. But I'm sure like there's one somewhere that like maybe a private seller has or something like that, or private collector has, or something.
If Nicolas Cage can get a dinosaur head, I'm sure somebody has a gremlin animatronic.
Yeah, exactly. That's a that's a good comparison. Little to no actual dialogue for the Gremlins and Mogwai existed in the script. In addition to several instances of on-set rewrites changing or adding to much of the script, the voiceovers were mostly ad-libs, repeating snippets of just performed dialogue or in reaction to other sound effects or environments. To this end, And if anyone doesn't know this, I didn't realize this growing up. I found this out like more recently that the what do you call it? The Mogwai and Gizmo, they're actually like he's voiced by Howie Mandel of Deal or No Deal fame. So back in the 80s, Howie Mandel was actually like a famous comedian before he did all this like talk show host shit that he does like nowadays and does his weird podcast that he has with his daughter or some shit. Well, back then, Howie Mandel was this lowly comedian and he was doing little things in Hollywood, and this was one of those things where he recorded lines for Gizmo and was Gizmo's voice for both movies. I forget.
Gizmo.
He was Gizmo, yeah. He actually he was in another movie too that I watched recently. I think it's called Little Monsters. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
No.
It reminds me of like they probably got the idea from Monsters Inc. from this movie. And all the characters kind of look like Sully too, so that's probably why. Yeah. So Howie Mandel, pretty good, Gizmo. He recorded Gizmo's lines phonetically for foreign dubs of the movie, where localized dialogue and in-jokes helped make this movie successful with audiences worldwide. That's pretty cool.
Dude, what was Gilbert Godfrey doing at the time?
What, at this time?
Yeah, was he around?
He was on SNL.
What?
Yeah. In the mid 80s, Gilbert Gottfried was on SNL. He was on for like one season.
He wouldn't be available for Gizmo. And what was the other one?
I don't think he would have been available for Gizmo, but I don't know if I could picture him as Gizmo because Gizmo doesn't really talk. He makes like sounds like me 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 shit like that.
No,
So
all right, now imagine Gilbert Godfrey making those little noises.
Me 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 me. Well, here's the thing about Gilbert
more
Gottfried.
High pitch than that. Come on.
Well, here's the thing about Gilbert Gottfried is that he didn't have that persona at the time. He wasn't like a shrieker, yeah. So he wouldn't have like done that kind of like comedy if he was. But that was the thing.
I've never seen any other version of him.
Yeah, when he was on SNL, he was a little more straight laced. He got fired from SNL, and apparently he like it kind of borderline like ruined his life. So he like took a different turn with his comedy and ended up doing the shouting thing that he does, the Aflac duck sound. But yeah.
Any more facts about Gremlins?
Well, let me just say real quick, one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life was from a Comedy Central roast. I think it was Joan Rivers, and Gilbert Gottfried was there. And somebody, I think it was Lisa Lampanelli, said that Gilbert Gottfried looks like he smells like urine. And I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. Not that he smells like urine, but he looks like he smells like urine. That's just fucking hilarious. Because it's so true. He's so greasy and shit. But, yeah. More facts about Gremlins. The film was released on the same day as Ghostbusters. Wow. The Santa speech proved to be
controversial. I thought it was older than Ghostbusters.
No, 1984.
Ghostbusters is so much better.
You haven't even seen Gremlins.
Come on, man.
Dude, I don't know how you could say that and not see it, but first of all, Gremlins is amazing. Ghostbusters, I like Gremlins more than Ghostbusters, but I like the cast of Ghostbusters more than Gremlins. The Santa speech proved to be controversial, and studio executives insisted upon its removal because they felt it was too ambiguous as to whether it was supposed to be funny or sad. And director Joe Dante, however, stubbornly refused to take the scene out, saying it represented the movie as a whole, which had a combination of horrific and comedic elements. Executive producer Steven Spielberg did not like the scene, but despite his creative control, he viewed the movie as Dante's project and allowed him to leave it in. And I threw in what the speech was real quick, the small soliloquy. The girl of the movie is basically talking about why she hates Christmas, and it's because of her dad. And she said that he'd been climbing down the chimney, his arms loaded with presents. He was going to surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck. He died instantly, and that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
Jeesh.
Yeah. So that was pretty dark. And I remember seeing that recently too and being like, holy shit, that's a lot. That's pretty heavy.
Real.
Next movie is Die Hard. The classic John McClane movie. You've never seen Die Hard? Dude, how?
Dude, I don't have time for this bullshit.
You watch one movie a month. You gotta watch Die Hard once.
There's so many other good movies.
Dude, Die Hard is a good movie. The first two are actually good movies, and then the rest are terrible.
I haven't even seen Scary Movie 5, and you want me to watch Die Hard?
I don't want you to watch Scary Movie 5. I don't think
I didn't say
anybody...
you did.
I think 99% of this audience, if they like you, would tell you not to watch Scary Movie 5. One up vote for liking the co-host right now. So, you know, if you guys like him, upvote this video. If you don't like that he hasn't seen Die Hard, also like the video. We'll figure out how many likes for which view. A New York City. Also, if you don't like that he didn't see Gremlins or doesn't want to watch Gremlins, definitely like the video. A New York City cop, John McClane, tries to save his estranged wife and several others taken hostage by terrorists during a Christmas Eve party at the Nakatomi Plaza skyscraper in Los Angeles, California. The Nakatomi Plaza. I used to love this arcade game as a kid. I used to play Die Hard, the arcade game, like all the time when I'd go to this campground I used to go to. But yeah, it was a good game. And yeah. Here's some trivia facts. A good movie too. Also, it's Alan Rickman's first movie, if I'm not mistaken. He's the villain.
His first movie?
If I'm not mistaken, it's either his first movie or it's one of his first movies. But that might be in here.
I had to guess it'd be one of his first movies, but that'd be pretty cool if your first movie, you're like the main villain in this important film.
Yeah, and his character is super cool too.
This terrible, important film.
It's not a terrible film. It's terrible because you haven't watched it. The fictional Nakatomi Plaza is the headquarters of 20th Century Studios. So the studio could use one of its own buildings and didn't have to hold back on stunts and action sequences. While Jeb Stewart was writing the screenplay, he did a tour of the building and immediately incorporated some of the locations and objects he found there into his script as set pieces, such as the cart that McClane and Carl end up riding during their fight, and the company charged itself rent for the use of the then unfinished building. Some of the middle floors were occupied by legal and administrative departments, so only empty floors were used for filming. Still, the filming of scenes that involved gunfire had to be postponed until after hours because some of the employees from the active floor started to complain about the noise. That's funny. The scene where Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman meet up was unrehearsed to create a greater feeling of spontaneity between the two actors. Alan Rickman nearly passed up the role of Hans Gruber, which ended up being his first film role. He had only arrived in Hollywood 2 days earlier and was appalled by the idea of his first role being the villain in an action film. To a degree. Yep.
Guy, like, what?
Repeat that.
How picky can you be?
I mean, he's a classically trained actor, isn't he? He's like a really good actor.
Was he was a hot shot in college?
Well, this is actually, so listen to this. To a degree, Rickman was right to be concerned, considering his performance as Hans Gruber was so hailed that the actor had to struggle being typecast as a player of villains for much of his career. And that's what a lot of actors are worried about, is being typecast. Like Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who did what do you call that movie? Superbad. he ended up getting typecast as like that like loser nerdy kid for like the rest of his life until like the 2020s, and now he's being typecast as like a dad.
He kind of just like is that, like he seems like that kind of person.
Yeah, but he's done like a lot of interviews where he's like, "That's not really me" and shit like that. Like I just actually watched like a documentary about this recently online.
Yeah, I just wouldn't blame Superbad. I would just blame his genetics.
I would blame his genetics. Maybe he could have done other roles though. I think he could have done like something else. But anyways, Bruce Willis received a then unheard of $5 million fee, which was approved by Fox president Rupert Murdoch. Well, that's cool. And in 2007, Bruce Willis donated John McClane's undershirt to the Smithsonian Museum. Maybe Bruce Willis has a gremlin. All right. The next movie on the list is, I think, the only superhero movie. So we're gonna, we already talked kind of about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, but just as a side note, that was really good, and everyone should watch it. I think if you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Christmas and holidays and yada yada yada.
Wait, what is it?
The Marvel holiday special, the Guardians of the Galaxy one, yeah. Where they abduct Kevin Bacon.
Wait, I have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Rob Reiner and his wife were just found dead in his mansion.
I actually was just reading about that too, and I forgot to mention that. So that is breaking news. That's fucking crazy.
Wow.
It's it's an occult ritual. That's what a lot of people are saying online.
What the fuck?
No. Well, people are saying it because like
I just saw that it's a reported homicide, which is crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. That is nuts. People are gonna hear this in a week and they're gonna be like, dude, that happened like a week ago.
You gotta upload it fast.
Well, we got like 5 days, I think, or 6 days to upload it. Just so everyone knows, we're recording this ahead of time, obviously, if we're just finding out today that Rob Reiner died. But, enjoy it. Enjoy the Christmas movies. And I feel like Rob Reiner was on this, was mentioned in this list. I forgot. I don't know, but Rob Reiner's amazing. I love Spinal Tap. Did I show you Spinal Tap? Did we ever watch that? Did you ever watch that in general?
I've never seen Spinal Tap.
Oh man, you gotta watch Spinal Tap. It's so good.
How am I supposed to watch Spinal Tap when I've never seen Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
Oh man, yeah. This is yeah. Anyways, the next one is Batman Returns. That's the next movie. Everyone knows, I think, the plot of Batman Returns, right? It's Danny DeVito is the Penguin, and he rises up out of the sewers and tries to take over Gotham, and then Michael Keaton Batman just like, fuck that shit, and tries to beat the shit out of him, and Danny DeVito throws penguin bombs at him. Right? They're penguin bombs there. I know there's penguins. There's actual penguins, but he's got a penguin bomb in there somewhere. It was a good movie. I like it. This was actually my favorite growing up of all the Batman movies. It might even still be.
Sorry to derail right now, but like, I'm kind of obsessed with the fact that Rob Reiner was murdered in his home.
I love how.
Where did you hear people think it's like a cult thing?
Oh, that's just on Instagram and shit. Right before we were doing like this.
You send me some of that.
Well, it's just random people because people noticed that right around the time that crazy shit happens, like shootings and stuff like that, celebrities tend to die or get murdered. So people have conflated that with it being like an occult ritual. And somebody also mentioned that The Princess Bride has a lot of stuff in it, like Eyes Wide Shut, I guess, but not as crazy. Like a lot of hidden meaning.
The Princess Bride?
Yes, he did.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie. He did The Princess Bride. He did Spinal Tap. He's done a lot of good movies. Every movie of his is a banger. So Batman Returns. Here's the trivia: Burgess Meredith, who played the Penguin on Batman 1966 and in the Batman the movie, was asked to play the Penguin's father in the opening of the film, but illness prevented him from it. If I'm not mistaken, the guy who played Pee Wee Herman actually was the father in the opening of the film instead. In an interview for television, Stan Winston told a little anecdote about how his crew were collecting the mechanical penguins after a day's shoot and found one of the live penguins snuggled up asleep against the mechanical one. That's funny. Danny DeVito remained in character between takes and was told to get the role by Jack Nicholson. That's cool. The massive Gotham City sets were all constructed to be mobile and were often shifted between days of filming. Michelle Pfeiffer routinely got lost on her way to filming each day. And at least 50% of the Warner Brothers lot was taken up with Gotham City sets. Tim Burton and Michael Keaton prefer this film to the first Batman. Me too. Keaton said that the sequel spoke to me more and that he greatly enjoyed the filming. All right. The next one is Krampus. When his dysfunctional family clashes over the holidays, young Max gets disillusioned and turns his back on Christmas. Meanwhile, this lack of festive spirit unleashes the wrath of Krampus, a demonic force of ancient evil intent on punishing non-believers. All hell breaks loose as beloved holiday icons take on monstrous life of their own, laying siege to the fractured family's home and forcing them to fight for one another if they hope to survive. This movie was awesome. Got Adam Scott in it. Classic, like, nerdy, cool dude, I guess you could say. The film was originally to release the 25th of November, but was pushed back to the 4th of December to coincide with the Krampusnacht, a traditional Austrian festival held on the 5th of December that celebrates the Krampus coming to punish naughty children. The Krampus final design was distilled from various postcards and illustrations of the creature over the years. And the Krampus is a huge part of Austrian and German folklore. In Austrian and southern Germany, they have Krampus runs where grown-up men dress up as Krampuses and parade through the city streets and scare children. The visible breath and the cold exteriors was done digitally, but a major component of it involved filming real people in freezers, reading dialogue for the scenes. Their breath was then isolated and added optically into the shots. Michael Dougherty describes the Krampus in this film as Santa Claus's shadow. He's not the unstoppable monster that kicks down your door and rampages and grabs you. There's something darkly playful about him. He's having a good time doing what he does, and he enjoys the cat and mouse aspect of it. All right. Now that I'm toasty, I can talk about these last few fucking movies. All right, at this point in the episode, I'm pretty toasty, and we're on the last little hump of Christmas movies. Chim chim chimney, chim chim cheree, right? Isn't that a Christmas song? I don't know. I think that's a rap song, but actually, isn't there a Christmas song that goes chim chim chimney, chim chim? I don't know, some shit like that. Snow coming down, it's Christmas, and we're going to finish up this list. The next movie is a movie that we've all been...
Christmas?
Or whatever it is.
Christmas Day?
Yeah, today is Christmas Day for anyone listening. You're hearing this...
Is this his birthday?
This is Christmas Day because this is going to come out the 21st, so people will be so confused. They'll be like, the Christmas Day, what? For anyone listening, I've been in between takes. I just drank a shit ton, so I'm really, really wasted from the last 5 minutes ago.
I didn't know this. He didn't even tell me
No,
that. So I'm a little caught off guard right
I
now.
told him I was going over into the other room, and I just started chugging beers.
Are you serious?
So I am pretty lit. I'm feeling great. Or on Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the Cranks. I've definitely seen that in my peripheral vision at one point in my life.
I think it's an all right movie, but I think it gets old really quick. I only put it on here because I kind of feel like this was a movie I watched a lot. I don't know. It's pretty good, right? There's some famous people in it. Isn't Lindsay Lohan in it or some shit?
Is Danny DeVito
I think he
in
is in it, and Tim Allen, or no, not Tim Allen. He's in the other one. What's his face is in it? That guy that married Sarah Jessica Parker for some reason. The horse lady.
The what?
The horse lady.
Who's the horse lady?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh my god, dude. Man, you've flown off. You've flown off, haven't you?
No, this is a South Park joke. Remember Cartman keeps calling her the horse lady?
I didn't see that.
That was a really early South Park episode. Yeah, she's I think Kenny falls out of a tree and dies. But anyways, yeah, so Matthew Broderick, that's his name. The guy married to Sarah Jessica Parker. He's in it. The guy that fought Godzilla. Remember Matthew Broderick fought Godzilla, and he did it all while he was skipping school, right? Those are the only movies I can think of with Matthew Broderick. He wasn't really that great of an actor, right?
I'm pretty sure that Christmas with the Cranks is the Tim Allen one with the other lady.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd's in it too.
Christmas with the Cranks. With their daughter Blair away in Peru, Luther and Nora Crank decide to skip Christmas altogether until she decides to come home, causing an uproar when they must celebrate it at the last minute. All right. So yeah, famous movie. We kind of watched it a few times. It's just it's all right, It's whatever. But Dan Aykroyd's in it, so that makes it even better. The film is based on John Grisham's book, Skipping Christmas. The original title is seen in the newspaper article after the tanning salon.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen this movie.
No, you haven't?
No.
It's so perfectly mediocre, I would say watch Surviving Christmas instead of this one. Honestly, guys, watch that. I put this one in because this was this is more so an honorable mention than anything else. I don't even want to read the trivia because I only put this in because Dan Aykroyd's in it, really.
Yeah, let's get to the heavy hitters.
Yeah. I'm
Deck the Halls.
Next up on the list, Deck the Halls with Matthew Broderick. So yeah, this movie's got also Danny DeVito in it, and they basically go to war over who has the better house, during Christmas, who can put up the better Christmas lights. And it's an entertaining movie. I just wish Matthew Broderick wasn't the main actor. It's just God, so boring.
You don't like him at all?
He's just so boring, dude. He's so boring. He's so whiny and nasally, and everybody loves Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and it's all right, I get it. It's a good movie, but it's man, Matthew Broderick sucks.
If Matthew Broderick put into the MCU, what character would he be?
Oh, he'd be Rick Jones or something weird. Yeah, Rick Jones actually would be the perfect thing for Matthew Broderick if he was just an old colleague of Bruce Banner's. I know, basically,
Just a guy.
Just a guy, yeah. That's all he has to be, and that's all he should be in in the MCU. Literally, Rick Jones is literally that.
He has no super future.
No, that's what Rick Jones in the comic books is. That he's just a guy that hangs out with more powerful people, and that's what Matthew Broderick is. Is he's just an actor that hangs out with more famous people. I'm sorry, Matthew Broderick, if you somehow hear this, but you're not my favorite. You're not even top 100 in my book.
I mean, top 100 is understandable for him to not be in. No offense. He could be in it, but it's okay if he's not in it.
I mean, there's
Not a lot of people.
I would have a hard time thinking of 100 actors and actresses, but
This is gonna be a future episode.
where we talk about our 100 favorite actors and actresses.
That's gonna be a series now that you said it out loud. Hearing it like that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Matthew Broderick will not be on it. I will go out of my way to make sure he's not on that.
Probably same here.
He's so boring. I respect so many more other people more than him.
Are you doing a Tarantino bit right now?
What's the Tarantino bit?
Are you just laying into Matthew Broderick like Paul Dano because you actually want Matthew Broderick to blow up?
No, I don't want him to blow up at all.
All right, so you're just being exactly like Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Matthew Broderick's terrible. I don't want to see another movie with him, and if I do, it's gonna be a terrible movie.
What if he played like a Nazi?
That wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense. Hey, I mean that's a compliment.
I guess that is a compliment. That's funny. But he's
like,
just
so. Give him a one redeeming quality. I can't imagine him being a horrible Nazi. That just doesn't make any sense.
I feel like he doesn't have like any like authority at all. And a Nazi, even though they're fucked up and awful, they should feel like authoritative, which is what they are as authoritarians. You know what I mean? A Nazi shouldn't be like, "Hey, guys, I guess we're gonna go." I can't even finish that.
Is that Matthew Broderick?
I can't even do a Matthew Broderick accent.
Is that he?
Can you do a Matthew Broderick?
No.
He's basically just like dorky sounding.
He's just a guy.
Yeah, exactly. He you know what's funny is he's married to like the most woman like in Hollywood.
Who?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh yeah, we said that. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean she's pretty successful though, right?
Yeah, I don't watch Sex in the City. I don't know.
Maybe like she bagged him. She's always had a crush on Matthew Broderick.
Maybe. They kind of came up around the same time. Maybe him a little bit earlier. You know, Sarah Jessica Parker has been around since like the 80s, right?
What was she in?
She played somebody's best friend in a really, really huge movie. I forgot what it was. 1974 to 97, early acting career. Footloose. That's the one that I remember her in. That makes sense. She was in a movie called L.A. Story. She was in Hocus Pocus in 1993. That was more in the 90s. That was like her first big hit. But yeah, Footloose was the one I was thinking of. Oh, Flight of the Navigator too. She was in that. I think we've gone into Sarah Jessica Parker enough in this Christmas.
She's not even. She's not even in it.
She's not even in it. I like how I completely went away from Matthew Broderick. All right.
How disinterested in him you are. I mean, there's other people in the movie, like Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito's the shit.
Please God be right.
Yeah, he is awesome. He is definitely in this movie, and he is the shining light. Just like how Dan Aykroyd is the shining light of Christmas with the Cranks. Danny DeVito is the shining light of Deck the Halls. These movies are perfect because I feel like I think that the star of both of the movies are shitty, but the villain, like both actors are amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they're on this list is because of the villains. All right. I kind of skipped the Christmas with the Cranks trivia, but here's the trivia for Deck the Halls. Matthew Broderick, had to train with a real speed skater for a few months beforehand for the scene in which Steve and Buddy are in a speed skating race. So that's cool. The ice skating race between Broderick and DeVito is filmed on the same street. Many scenes from Smallville were filmed. Often film storefronts from Smallville, such as the Talon and the Fordman department store, can be seen easily. And Danny DeVito's house used LED lights to provide remarkable displays not possible with traditional Christmas lights. Otherwise, the lighting could only be done by special effect computers. The lights from Boston-based Color Kinetics formed a digital skin around DeVito's house, acting like pixels on a TV screen. At one point, the roof of DeVito's house turned into a live video display of DeVito's face. At maximum intensity, the 14,300 LED nodes used just 7,150 watts of energy. the equivalent of 4 average hair dryers. Wrapping the house with conventional exterior string lights would have used approximately 100,100 watts, 14 times more than the LED installation. And without the capability of for programmable effects, the entire LED installation used a total of 126 amps, about as much as 1.3 average households. Conventional exterior string lights would have used 812 amps, the equivalent of 8 houses worth of power. That's pretty cool. Danny DeVito also sold cars in the screen adaptation of Matilda. Another little interesting fact there is he was also a salesman in that movie, car sales. Great movie.
Great movie is true.
Yeah. I think that's one of Danny DeVito's. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that every single one of Danny DeVito's movies, for the most part, are his best movies, except for Deck the Halls. He's got a lot of really good ones. He doesn't just choose shitty movies. This next one up on the list, you have to watch. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think it's the second best in the entire series, and it just so happens to be the Christmas movie of the series. It's Harold and Kumar's Christmas movie. Now, again, I don't really like Guantanamo Bay that much. I think the first Harold and Kumar is one of the greatest stoner movies of all time, and was besides Cheech and Chong, Harold and Kumar was like the next great stoner movie, and it pretty much started the modern day like stoner comedy. Cheech and Chong did too, but that was like more of like a novelty. Harold and Kumar is what like kicked off like when we think of like stoner comedies. That's what we think of. That and Pineapple Express, but like what I'm saying is they got the formula from Harold and Kumar. But yeah. The third movie it's still a really good movie. It's a Christmas movie technically, but I would watch Harold and Kumar if I was the Christmas one, even if I wasn't watching Christmas movies, if I was just watching like stoner movies. It's like years after their friendship has like completely dissipated. They've both gone their separate ways. Harold is married to the chick that he liked in the first movie, and then both movies, the first and the second. Kumar is just doing Kumar's thing. He's still the same old dude, and he's just trying to get by, like doing his old, his same old shit. So it gets to a point where Kumar gets like a package in the mail or something, and it was addressed to Harold. So he goes to try and bring it to him, and it's like this fat joint, and they end up like causing like They end up burning down his Harold's Christmas tree that he was trying to impress his wife's like father with. What ends up happening is they end up like going out on going out on the town, so to speak, and going on a road trip to try and find a Christmas tree in order to replace the one that the father liked a lot and that they accidentally burned down. It's a really good movie. Highly recommend it. It is pretty Christmassy, obviously, but it's really funny. It's basically like if you've ever seen like the It's Always Sunny Christmas special, which I want to say real quick, that's one of my favorite Christmas specials of all time, is the Always Sunny Christmas episode, and I highly recommend that as like a like a TV show Christmas thing to watch, because that is really good. I feel like we don't talk about it, and that also comes with like Danny DeVito too. We were just talking about him, but the Always Sunny Christmas special is amazing. But yeah. So what I was thinking though is that this movie, the Harold and Kumar Christmas movie, is kind of like that, in that it's like it's sort of like the Always Sunny Christmas special, in that it's normally like how would you say this? It's normally like kind of a black comedy, like dark, irreverent, but they went a completely different way, and it kind of worked in its favor because of the vibe, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a really good movie. You should watch it.
Okay.
So here are the trivia facts.
I gotta watch This Is Spinal Tap first.
I gotta watch This Is Spinal Tap first. Yeah, well, you definitely should, now that Rob Reiner's dead. If Kumar happens to die, then you should, or Harold, whoever, then maybe watch Harold and Kumar Christmas movie. All right, so here are the facts, the trivia, the straight facts. A very Harold and Kumar fact.
Give it to me straight.
Give it to me straight. One of the lies Adrian tells Mary is that Kumar works at the White House. Cal Penn, who plays Kumar, had actually been working at the White House and took time off from that job to make this movie. Did you know that? That Cal Penn worked in
He was part of
Obama's.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a speechwriter for Obama, if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty cool. When Adrian is tying the Christmas tree to the roof of his vehicle, he says, "Let's drop this tree off at Sulu's," referring to Harold. John Cho played Sulu in the reboot Star Trek and again in Star Trek Into Darkness. That's pretty funny.
It's also funny because it's like in their universe, he's just being racist.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is it is just like that. He's just being racist, but it's funny because, like, in another universe, he is Sulu. It was Todd Strauss Schulson suggested casting Danny Trejo after making a Photoshop picture of him wearing a Christmas sweater. That's Danny Trejo plays the dad in the movie of Harold's girlfriend or wife.
Yeah.
Thomas Lennon and Amir Blumenfeld ad-libbed most of their lines. That's pretty funny. Especially when you see some of the shit that they say, especially Amir Blumenfeld, he gets really funny with it. Like Thomas Lennon too. He's hilarious in the movie. For those that don't know, Thomas Lennon is he's awesome. I think he's the best friend in 17 again. So if you've ever seen that movie with Zac Efron, he's the old version of the best friend in that movie. Oh, and he's the gay cop in Reno 911.
Yes.
That's like what he's most famous for.
Yeah.
At one point in the film, Kumar gets into a debate with someone over whether The Karate Kid is better than its 2010 remake, The Karate Kid 2010. I love how they threw in the thing.
A good remake.
Is it really that good? I would say it's not good.
Hey, I know this isn't a popular opinion, but Jaden Smith was great.
I guess so. I watched
He's a talented kid.
Oh, you should watch After Earth and tell me how talented he is. But I don't know. Maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not a big fan of Jaden Smith, and I thought that The Karate Kid 2010 was fucking awful, but maybe I'm missing something. You're joking with me, right? You don't really think that The Karate Kid 2010 is good?
I think it's good.
You really do?
Yeah.
So you're excited about the crossover then that's coming out?
Wait, what?
They're you didn't hear about this? They're supposed to make like so I guess they're gonna cross over the 2010 Karate Kid movie with the 80s one. They're gonna have like Jaden Smith come back and he's gonna be friends with.
Wait, are you for real?
Are
you messing with me?
I'm not. You must be excited for this movie if you love this. If you love this franchise.
Did we talk about Jackie Chan crossing over with?
I think we did. I think this was a part of it.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think this was a part of one of our culture burns one time.
I definitely did not know that Jaden Smith was coming back.
He's coming back with a vengeance.
This is big.
This is big. And he's not even gonna have the After Earth accent.
What do you not like about that movie? Also, hold on.
Dude, watch the movie and tell me what's not to hate about it. I also...
Jackie Chan?
Oh, you mean Karate Kid. I thought you meant After Earth.
Oh, no.
No, I watched it. It was boring to me, though. But I wasn't a huge fan of the original Karate Kid, so maybe that's just my problem. I don't know. All right. Todd Strauss Schulson said shooting scenes with the Wafflebot prop was the most difficult and time-consuming. That's funny. Wafflebot was also like something he thought of when he was in college, and he made a short film about it, and he just wanted to add it into the fucking movie, which was kind of funny because if you watch the movie, Wafflebot is the most random, stupidest part of the movie, but it's always those things that people are just like, this is like a thing that I wanted to do for so long that I'm just gonna throw it in here nonsensically, you know? All right. The next movie is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. This is kind of an honorable mention in a way, but it's also because I would consider this maybe slightly more of a Thanksgiving movie than a Christmas movie, but it's still really good. And it's still a holiday movie. So,
yeah, great movie.
It is. It's amazing.
I've definitely seen this one before.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Don't ask me too many specific questions.
Well, I'm gonna ask only one. Do you remember the scene where he's trying to rent a car?
No.
Well, he pretty much is just like it's actually going to be in I think I think in the first trivia fact, but in the scene he's talking to like this chick, this car rental lady, and she's so like nice, like just like out of like just like super nice and happy and bubbly, right? And he gets up to her and he's just like had the shittiest week of his life. The whole movie's pretty like tame for a rated R movie. There's like no F words or anything throughout the whole movie. But then in this one scene, he just like, she's like, "Oh, what can I help you with?" And he goes, "What can I help?" He goes, "I need a fucking car right fucking now." And he says the F word like so many fucking times that it's hilarious. And then she gets really upset because she asks him she like laughs or not even gets upset. She just laughs and says something because he answers a question and he goes, What's up? And she goes, "I'm afraid you're fucked then." And it's just like one of the funniest lines of the whole movie. It was so good. It was so fucking good. But yeah, it's a hilarious movie. I recommend anyone to watch that. It's so fucking funny. Not even because of that one scene. That one scene is it might disappoint people to hear that like that because that one scene is kind of built up from the entire movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have to watch the movie.
Frustration of the whole movie.
Yeah, exactly. That you feel every ounce of frustration in every F-bomb that he drops because you've seen it unfold. Yeah. So this is the trivia for it. Well, let me tell you real quick. This is basically about like a couple of guys who, John Candy and Steve Martin, they basically get caught up and they have to like get off a train and they have to like start like finding like their way across America, and they end up using each other and basically trying to get to I think Thanksgiving where Steve Martin with his family or something like that. I also want to throw out there that one of my favorite movies that I saw too was called Due Date, and it's pretty much just a remake of this movie, but it's with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis. It's pretty much the exact same movie, like pretty much the exact same basic plot line, but with those guys instead. It's really good. But yeah. This is John Candy and Steve Martin's favorite film of their own. The marathon car rental scene is exactly 1 minute long from the time Steve Martin starts his tirade to the time the attendant ends the scene. In that 60 seconds, the F word is used 19 times. The film would have easily been rated PG or PG-13 by the MPAA if it weren't for this one scene. And John Hughes wrote the first draft of the script in 3 days. His average writing time for a script in those days was about 3 to 5 days with 20-some rewrites. That's crazy. 3 to 5 days is nuts. All right. According to editor Paul Hirsch, the original cut of this movie was 3 hours and 40 minutes long. He and John Hughes edited it down to 2 hours. This version was test screened and it was probably used to edit trailers for the film, which is why they show a lot of deleted scenes. The movie was then edited again down to 1 hour and 33 minutes for theatrical release. According to Hirsch, a 2-hour version still exists, but he doesn't know where it is. That would be awesome to watch, a 2-hour version of this movie. an extra half hour of John Candy and Steve Martin just going at each other in the craziest ways. It would be awesome. All right. I know we talked about this movie, but I forget if you are that familiar with it. So this was one of my favorite movies when I was watching just watching like renting movies from Blockbuster and Christmas time. You'd always like get like a good movie from Blockbuster. This was one of those movies that I would get that was one of the fucking amazing movie. Classic. It's Jack Frost, the one with Michael Keaton. It's really.
Oh yeah, this is a really great movie.
It is. This honestly, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this might be the best movie on this list. Like as far as like pure-hearted like Christmas movie. I mean, yeah, sure, we have like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and shit, and that goes a long way, but like as far as like a modern movie that captures like everything about the heart and the sadness of like Christmas, but also like the love and the warmth of Christmas, this or like just the holidays in general. This captures that, I think, perfectly, this movie. It's a very good movie. Basically, I think it's about Michael Keaton plays a guy. Doesn't he get into a car accident and then is that what happens? And then he becomes a snowman?
Yeah.
That's the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. But yeah, and he's able to like talk to his like kid again and like do stuff. I want to watch this movie now. Like I legitimately want to watch this right now.
I need to watch it.
It's so good. It literally, this is like I said, this was like, you rent a movie from Blockbuster and you watch it, and you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then it happens to be like one of the best Christmas movies of all time. But yeah. George Clooney was originally attached to the project. When he left to do Batman and Robin, Michael Keaton, who originated the Batman role in live action 8 years earlier, was cast in lead role. Before Keaton took over, Jim Henson's Creature Shop had already designed their snowman animatronic specifically to Clooney's facial features and acting style. Wow. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So he's meant to look like George Clooney in the movie. That actually makes sense. Do you know what you remember what he looks like, right?
He just looks like he's supposed to look like Wait, hold on. What about him looks like George Clooney?
Dude, he looks totally like George Clooney, dude. Look at him. Look at this guy, dude. Look at him. Audience, tell me not. This is George Clooney right here, right? Look at this guy. Right now, I'm showing the audience. I haven't started.
You're not showing me.
I was gonna say I haven't started showing you yet, but I'm showing the audience. They're gonna see it on the screen right now. Look at this guy. This is obviously George Clooney. Look at him. Look at that guy. That's George Clooney. You see it?
I see it.
That's totally George Clooney, dude. Doesn't that look like George Clooney?
Can we move on?
All right. Jack Frost, great movie. Here's a couple other facts. Michael Keaton co-wrote 2 of the songs on the soundtrack. This was released 1 year after the horror movie Jack Frost, a film featuring a mutant killer snowman. And this was released 1 year after... Oh, wait, I just read that. And Sam Raimi was once attached to the film as director and even wrote a draft of the script with his brother Ivan. That's fucking cool. I would have never guessed that in a million years that Sam Raimi would have been anything to do with this movie. Tim Allen was considered for the title role. I'm glad he didn't get it. He turned it down. Oh, he turned it down. He turned it down because he was in the midst of shooting the final season of Home Improvement. I am so glad he didn't do this movie. I think it wouldn't have been as good without Michael Keaton. I think Michael Keaton brings a lot of heart to it. All right. Couple more movies left. Fred Claus, Santa's Bitter...
Imagine if you had Michael Keaton in Toy Story.
Honestly, I could picture Michael Keaton as Tim Allen's role in Toy Story. Like out of all like people, he kind of sounds like he could do that.
Yeah.
That's actually that's interesting. I never thought about that. He could be a Buzz Lightyear.
If we just erase Tim Allen from history,
dude,
and he perfectly filled the both like his own slot and Tim Allen's.
Dude, that would be awesome.
It would have been in Zoom.
We could do that now with AI, dude. We could just take all of Tim Allen's movies and just digitally replace him with Michael Keaton instead. Like, you could actually do that. Like, scene by scene, just take him and just completely replace him. Just no more Tim Allen whatsoever. Even movies that had Tim Allen no longer have Tim Allen. No movie will have Tim Allen ever again. All right, anyways. Next movie is Fred Claus. Santa's bitter older brother is forced to move to the North Pole to help Santa and the elves prepare for Christmas in exchange for cash. Cash. I'm Vince Vaughn. You never seen Fred Claus? I was living in a tropical place at one point, and I'm pretty sure I saw this in the movie theaters there. New Mexico, remember? But yeah, this movie's it's all right. It's got Paul Giamatti as a really weird neurotic Santa Claus, and it's also got Vince Vaughn as a really weird brother of Santa Claus who's just like this uncle. He's very avuncular, you know what I mean? He's got like a cool dude kind of attitude where he's just like, I don't give a fuck. He's like I owe my brother money and my brother's Santa Claus. He's like a drunk. He's like an asshole. He's all those fun things that you want in a brother of Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Fred Claus, it was an all right movie. We should definitely throw some honorable mentions in at the end. This is the trivia for Fred Claus. In trying to come up with a name for Santa's brother, Jessie Nelson, who came up with the idea for the film after her daughter asked her if Santa was a family, hit upon Fred while watching The Godfather on television. The name Fred is a homage to the character Fredo. That's crazy. The unreliable middle child of the Corleone family, played by famously in The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 by John Cazale. I would have never thought that they modeled him after Fredo. Isn't he Fredo like the traitor of the Godfather group?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Fred Claus is the traitor of the Clauses. All right. Trevor Peacock, who was diagnosed with dementia in 2009, has no lines after the first scene where Nicholas is born. Peacock's longest line is, Frederick, would you like to come meet your brother? Wow. A good amount of Vince Vaughn's dialogue is improvised. The wardrobe department consulted Levi Strauss and Company and had special 501s created to accommodate Vince Vaughn's sizes specifically. In this movie, Vince Vaughn portrays Paul Giamatti's older brother. In reality, Vaughn is 3 years younger than Giamatti. That's pretty funny, actually. I that's like the James Gandolfini fact where Christine. That's actually funnier than the Christine Applegate one. Well, no, the Christine Applegate one's funnier. This one's just like, okay, they're around the same age, but Santa Claus is immortal, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
David Dobkin chose to direct this film because he wanted to tell a Christmas story about forgiveness for the modern era. Trevor Peacock's narration was originally a placeholder, but the filmmakers loved it so much that they left in the final cut of the film. Peacock also played Papa Klaus and did not have that many roles in the film. I mean, wasn't he the guy that had dementia that we were just talking about?
Yeah.
All right. This last film, because, after a dementia movie, we want to go out on a high note. And we want to be really respectful, and that's why I put as the very last movie, Bad Santa. I think this is like one of the funniest Christmas movies of all time. This isn't my favorite Christmas comedy. I mean, clearly, 8 Crazy Nights is definitely my favorite, but this is definitely up there with one of the best novelties of Christmas movies. You know how they have novelty movies, like stoner movies and shit like that. This is definitely like a novelty of a novelty. Movies? What is it?
Like a spoof movie?
Not even a spoof movie. It's just like it's so different than a lot of other movies that it kind of it's like saying that two people are two peas in a pod, except it's about one thing. It's like one of a kind. It's unique. Even though it's a Christmas movie, it's very unique. It's also a product of its time. Like, you know, only Billy Bob Thornton.
It's in a league of its own.
Yes, it's in a league of its own. That is true. So, this is basically Billy Bob Thornton plays like what is it? He's like a mall cat burglar thief guy who's dressed like Santa Claus and robs malls in the on the slide.
And he's like a huge piece of shit.
Yeah,
through and through.
I mean, already, you know, robbing malls dressed like Santa, you're a pretty big piece of shit. But yeah, he is a really big piece of shit. He just like he talks down to the kid all the time. He's like he's just the biggest piece of shit. But yeah. That's pretty much the gist, right? And then he tries to get with the mom in the movie.
Yeah.
All right. And then he becomes less of a piece of shit. It's kind of like a bunch of different Christmas movies combined. It's like The Grinch. It's like yeah.
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Yeah, that's the one. That's the bunch of them. It's a good movie though. I mean, obviously, if anybody listening to this hasn't seen Bad Santa, I'd be highly, highly surprised. But yeah. Some trivia facts. Billy Bob Thornton has said that he was genuinely intoxicated during some of the filming. In the escalator fall scene, he actually passed out after drinking 3 glasses of red wine for breakfast, followed by vodkas, cranberry juice, and a few Bud Lights. Oh, Billy Bob.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a weird dude. He's a free spirit. This was John Ritter's final acting appearance in a movie and is dedicated to his memory. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. John Ritter was a good actor. In his autobiography, The Billy Bob Tapes, Billy Bob Thornton said that if he could go back to any time in his life and relive it, he listed this film, The Alamo, and
that's cool.
Yeah, and The Alamo, which makes kind of sense.
You just want to go like the actual Alamo, or was he in an Alamo movie?
He was in the Alamo movie. He played Davy Crockett. I'm pretty sure.
I thought you just like would want to go back in time and see the Alamo.
No, that's a good movie, dude. If you haven't seen the Alamo, you should watch it. You don't remember watching that?
No,
You don't remember it at all?
I've never seen it.
You don't remember it though?
I don't remember it, dude.
Damn. All right.
The Alamo, starring Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, you heard it here. He doesn't remember the Alamo. All right. Billy Bob.
Is he the star, or is Davy Crockett not even the star of them?
I think he's like Davy Crockett is like the star of the movie. At one point, he's basically like screaming and he gets his throat sliced. Which I don't know if that happened in real life to Davy Crockett, but that would be crazy. But and I just want to say that he also said that he when he worked for the Arkansas Highway Department in 1979, that was another moment that he would relive. What? You know, he's like, yeah, Bad Santa, The Alamo, and when I worked for the Highway Department in Arkansas in 1979. Oh, yeah. All right. Billy Bob Thornton said that he's had 8-year-olds approach him about his role in the movie. Thornton was stunned that parents would even allow their kids to watch that movie at that age. I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack Nick.
But there's only one bad Santa.
Oh, shit. That was good. Jack Nicholson read the script and wanted to do the film, but had to turn it down because he was already committed to Something's Gotta Give in 2003.
I think the movie wouldn't have been as fucked up if Jack Nicholson was in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it needed that
It would have been more tame.
Yeah, it needed that Billy Bob Thornton rock star lifestyle kind of thing. According to Brett Kelly, In a later retrospective on the film, director Terry Zwigoff and Billy Bob Thornton were protective of the child actor. Kelly believes that due to the film's subject matter, Zwigoff and Thornton felt responsible to be protective of Kelly whenever possible. That's cool. Joel Cohen and Ethan Cohen and Terry Zwigoff revised the screenplay. So that's cool. I didn't know the Coen brothers had anything to do with this. Did they direct it? Who directed this movie? I don't know. All right. You ready for the honorable mentions? Because that is the end of the list.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, Harry Potter.
Wait, no. Harry Potter should have been on the list.
My point is that I think that the second half of the Harry Potter movies, the saga, if you will, that is more in line with Halloween kind of vibes. I think the first half of the Harry Potter movies, way more Christmassy kind of vibe.
I disagree. I think just the later movies are more serious and more so follow like the overarching story between all the movies.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, so maybe I can't even say, but that's what I got out of it when I watched them. Oh shit. But I think they can be an honorable mention. They were an honorable mention for the Halloween movies.
Dude, like every single Harry Potter movie has a whole segment of the movie that's about Christmas.
Well, that's because they take place throughout the year.
Yeah, but Christmas is like a really important part of it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that.
All the kids go home to their families, but Harry Potter stays there for Christmas.
You know, I wouldn't say like Bully the game is a Christmas game. You know what I mean? But one of the entire chapters in the game, it's around Christmas time, and you're pretty much doing a bunch of Christmas and winter things. But also,
I bet you would love to play that at Christmas.
What is it? Yeah, I loved it. You're right.
No, I'm saying that you would love to play it at Christmas time.
I did, and yeah, it's amazing. I kind of want to do it now.
So maybe it is a Christmas game.
But also, there's a whole section which I think is even on its own merit, possibly even better, which is a Halloween section where it's like a fall section where you like smash pumpkins and shit. So it's like, in my opinion, it's like it's not like either of those definitively, but it expresses like the best things of both of those, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes in line with like school things. Like it's a school series and a school movie or a school video game or what have you. So it's gonna deal with things that happen in school, and that's like the holidays, you know? And that's Harry Potter. It's school. It's wizard school. You want to add anything though to Harry Potter before we go and move to the next couple honorable mentions?
No, you've soured me on Harry Potter for Christmas.
Oh my god. Next couple honorable mentions. We've mentioned the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. That is great, but also Iron Man 3 is technically a Christmas movie, so you can watch that at Christmas time if you feel like it. I don't know why you would, but it is a Christmas movie. It's the MCU's Christmas movie. Although I would say the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special feels way more Christmassy than that.
Did you mention Hawkeye?
Yeah. No, I was getting there though. Yeah, Hawkeye's on the list too. We asterisked that because we wanted to make sure, but yeah, that takes place during Christmas time too. Happy holidays from Hawkeye. And all right, so Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon's an honorable mention because I was never a big fan of this series, to be totally honest with the audience. I know, shame on me, but it's one of those things. You know, I'm not a huge Mel Gibson guy. You know, he's all right. I like Mad Max. Mad Max is cool. There was some other shit, right? Last of the Mohicans, Braveheart, whatever. Oh, The Patriot. The Patriot's fucking awesome. That's a great fucking movie. Did you ever watch The Patriot?
No.
That's a good movie. Highly recommend The Patriot. I forget, I think Heath Ledger's in that one, but great movie. Yeah, so Lethal Weapon, it's all right. Every one takes place pretty much like during Christmas time because it's made by Shane Black, the same guy who did Lethal Weapon, and I think he wrote or directed The Christmas Story. He also produced the first Predator movie, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, Shane Black, interesting guy. I wrote in here as an honorable mention the end of Spider-Man No Way Home because it technically ends with like the winter and holidays and holiday lights and shit in the background. Yeah. But like the entire movie has nothing to do with that, but just that one scene is just
you know what? Yeah,
happens.
Don't we see like wintertime Doctor Strange?
Do we? Oh yeah. Well, no, because it's just in the Sanctum Sanctorum. He like somehow floods the entire Sanctum Sanctorum with snow for some reason. Remember? Because they're trying to go to college at that point in the movie, so it's like summertime at the beginning of the movie. So when they go in the Sanctum Sanctorum, it's supposed